we share and all we experience. Podcasts across time.
Echoes across time is the tagline.
I'm surprised there's no IMDb quote page for what I believe holds the record for the most existent film of 2026. This is a fun recurring game when I tell people...
Like movie that least exists that we've covered? Or
No.
Oh, that you tell people that we're covering Andrew Stanton.
What are you guys recording these days? I go, we're actually doing Andrew Stanton now. Oh, that's exciting. So wait, so it's what? So it's Finding Nemo and Wally, right? John Carter. Oh, right. And then what since then? And I go, Finding Dory. And they go, sure. And In the Blink of an Eye. And they go, what's that?
In the what of a what?
Right. And I go, he made like a smaller live action sci-fi, we're all connected drama. And they go, what year did that come out in? And I go, well, here's a surprise for you. In fact, mere months ago, it premiered at this year's Sundance Film Festival.
Heard of it?
And went on Hulu February 27th of 2026. Yep.
I found myself taken aback all over again, literally last night when I looked it up on Wikipedia. I was just like checking something, and at the top it said 2026. And I again had a renewed moment of like, wait, that can't be right. Well, that's this year.
It's not even a, oh my God, this year's been so long that In the Blink of an Eye was 2026.
You know, in some ways, this year's kind of gone past me in the blink of an eye.
Well, actually, is this the most relevant movie of 2026? Because of how fast things move.
So fast.
Yeah.
February. It came out and I rushed to Hulu and then I was like, well, I'm going to cover it on the podcast anyway. So I guess I'll let it simmer.
Ben and I were supposed to go to the premiere of this film.
Oh, yeah?
In New York City.
Oh, yeah?
That did not happen because of the snowstorm.
Oh, that's right.
So it was like it premiered at Sundance, and then there was supposed to be...
The cowards still ran closed the subways.
The proper New York premiere.
20 inches of snow. What's the big deal?
The following week.
Yep.
And it was like 6 hours before the premiere, we got an email that was like, never mind.
Yeah.
The Regal Union Square is closing. The event is not happening.
Fun fact, on the same day, if we're talking about the same weather event, because there were two.
Yeah, that's true.
But on the same day, I was supposed to attend a marathon play reading session of the five different works of the playwright Tracy Letts.
Oh,
well.
Friend of the show. He sat where you sit. And he's coming in next week, in fact.
Yes.
I now that Tracy has become a full-time podcaster, I'm also just kind of like listening to Tracy Letts every day. I'm beginning to assume he'll like, parachute into the sports podcast I listen to. He'll just kind of be like ever present. He just like lives in the Ringer offices now.
Reviewing Quiznos on Doughboys.
And it's like, fun fact about that guy, Pulitzer Prize winning playwright, in fact, on top of all his great podcasts.
He likes to make that joke of like, that stuff, that's my hobby. This is my real job.
This is my job.
And increasingly, it's starting to feel like he's actually proving that.
Wait, Joey. Okay, they were going to read 5 Tracy Letts plays back.
Don't quote me on the 5. They were going to do like an all-day marathon Tracy Letts
So wait,
session.
Bug, August Osage County, Seussical the Musical. What were the other two?
Now,
wait, now I need to look up what they were.
Killer Joe, I would assume, is one of the big
Superior
ones. We got Killer Joey.
Well, we do have Killer Joey on this episode. That's a bit of a spoiler.
Superior Donuts, which I should bring up to Tracy next time I see him and ask him, when is the next CBS sitcom adaptation of one of his plays going to premiere?
So funny that happened.
It would just be so funny if CBS was like, we're going to do a bug sitcom. It's about a wacky motel.
I mean, it's a little like Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, where you're like, that spawned a network sitcom that ran for years.
And they're like, look, her name's Alice. She's a waitress.
It's a restaurant.
After that, we kind of did our own thing.
Superior Donuts, same thing, where you're like, I don't know, guy owns a donut shop. People show up.
Well, I've never seen the play Superior Donuts, but Superior Donuts is a lighter.
It's lighter.
It's a bit lighter, relatively speaking. The plays included in the festival, which was never rescheduled, I'm sad to say.
Rude. Was Tracy going to be there, or was just...
I don't know. Presumably. You could ask him about it. August Osage County. We were going to open with that. Wow. Killer Joe, Linda Vista, The Minutes, and Man from Nebraska.
That's funny that it was no bug, no donuts.
No bug, no donuts.
But,
But all of his regulars were slated for this day-long thing. Margot Martindale was going to be there. Lily Rabe, Thomas Sadowski.
Oh, this is
a whole. Matthew Lillard was going to be reading one of them.
So it's going to be the second most incredible cultural event in New York City that night.
But yes, and
behind Ben and I attending the Blink of an Eye premiere. Interesting that you chose not to go bug nuts. Neither bug nor donuts.
I guess Bug is like, it's like, wow, you can go see that on Broadway. So
that was probably because Bug was playing on Broadway.
And Superior Donuts, you can scale Paramount Plus. You can climb the mountain and watch all.
Let's find out. Can you?
How many episodes of Superior Donuts do we think there were? Of course, the Tracy Letts sitcom adaptation starring Judd Hirsch and Jermaine Fowler.
I'm going to guess 26. I mean, like 2 seasons of 13 each is my guess, but I'm not sure. Does anyone else want to?
Wait, is that a bit, or was it actually renewed for a second season?
There was 2 seasons of Superior.
There were 2 seasons.
Are you sure?
I thought it was like 2 episodes canceled type deal.
I'm gonna guess 40.
Yeah. Anyone else want to? Price is Right. Kind of closest without going over.
32.
All right. Okay. All right. 30. I hear 32. I think I said 26. You said 40. Ben?
33.
The answer is 34. Ben gazumped you, Joey.
Wow. Throwing out a random number.
Gazumped you. So
what do I get?
You get a Superior Donut to be named later. You'll get one at some point.
You are now responsible for rescheduling the Tracy Letts marathon and producing it.
The Blink of an Eye premiere. You have to reschedule
we gotta do that.
The first season was 13 episodes. The second season was a full network season. 21 episodes.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then they canceled it.
Let's see. Along with Kevin Can Wait and some of my other favorite shows, 9JKL.
Yeah, that was a Mark
Biblically. What the fuck is this shit?
Right, Living Biblically, I think was it was based on that book, The Year of Living Biblically, and it's sort of like Bible Yes Man, where a guy has to
Catholic decides, starring J.R. Ferguson. From Mad Men.
Yes, this is before. Stan. He basically became a regular on The Conners, of course, the best American comedy series.
And then they also canceled Dan Koppelman's Me, Myself, and I, which was the Bobby Moynihan sitcom, I think.
That was the big splashy show that I think was the first cancellation of the season. It was.
Didn't he leave SNL for that show?
Yep.
Wait, Moynihan? What? Moynihan? No.
Yes.
What? Really?
Yes.
Or maybe not for it, but like it was the first thing he did, at least.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Dang. Yeah. 2017.
Yeah. No, that was, talk about a different time, 9 years ago.
Bring him back.
Bring Bobby back.
Why not?
He's busy.
He's got to have him on someday.
I would love to have Bobby Moynihan on. I feel like Bobby's taste, my friend Bobby, who I'm referring to by his first name, is like, we'd want a movie that he's passionate about. Like, he loves the goofy stuff, the silly stuff, the sci-fi stuff.
He loves the Muppets. We do Henson.
He does love the Muppets.
Get Bobby.
Sure.
He's on the whatchamacallit. He's on the Daniel Radcliffe Tracy Morgan show.
I know. I need to watch that.
He's constantly on a TV show.
I know Bobby's busy. It's just that Bobby loved SNL so much.
Bobby booked and busy.
Bobby, BB, and he's Hoppers. He's the mayor.
King George. He's the king of the box office this year.
Did you see Hoppers?
No, I didn't see Hoppers.
Why not?
You'll like King George.
I haven't... I haven't been inside like a movie theater in a few months.
Why not?
I don't know. I've had a lot going on.
I guess so. You gotta go see some movies.
You haven't been inside a movie theater in a few months, so you saw Michael early. You went to several test screenings and gave them notes.
Wait, I was a consultant on Michael.
What about that? There's Hokum afoot.
That's the Adam Scott nonsense.
It's not nonsense. It's Hokum, which of course is a synonym for nonsense.
Yes.
You haven't seen. Wait a second. Now I'm gonna get righteously mad at you. This is Blank Check.
The goat. You don't know the goat? You haven't seen the goat hit the court for
goat
ball?
Or who is Sylvia? What are you talking? Oh, goat.
It was an animated. That shows you how your brain works. It was an animated adaptation of Edward Albee's The Goat, or Who is Sylvia? My daughter's favorite movie of the year. You didn't see. What else we got? Did you see Nirvana, the band that showed the movie?
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Way to pronounce that. Yeah.
That's the whole joke of Nirvana.
It had an amazing
Nirvana.
Well, it's spelled like that because that's how Canadians say Nirvana.
Sure.
And that's why it has the double N, Nirvana.
I feel like you're pronouncing it really hard. Nirvana.
I'm simply going with their bit.
It was interesting.
Yeah, so I saw that. Was that my last one? Oh my God.
Wow. Did you see the Bone Temple? Yeah.
No, I saw the Bone Temple.
Come on, I mean,
Enter the Bone Temple.
So January and February, you were getting shit done.
Yeah.
And then you fell off.
And then,
things. Undertone? Scary podcast.
late at night.
I was actually intrigued by Undertone, by the first wave of reactions to Undertone, where people were like, scariest movie ever.
Right.
And then there came a second wave.
Yeah, it's so interesting how that happens with independent horror films, that the first reviews from like user I've been paid money on Twitter is like, The Exorcist is a fucking baby compared to this. I'm dead. I'm dead. Here's my death certificate. It killed me.
Scream
dead in the theater.
At Scream Till You Shock _XXXX.
And then Undertone, which is a movie I did not like hate, but I found is a lot of like, what was that? A lady in a, did I hear something?
David is looking behind him in either
But also
direction.
made like $3 million domestic on like a $1 million budget.
I don't think it got that far, but it did. I'm sure it made people money. Like, let's see, where did it get to?
One of
19 domestic.
Okay, it's one of those movies where I was like, that didn't pan out, and then you see the return on investment, and you're like, A24 made a ton
The budget
of money.
was probably like 80 cents on that thing.
Yeah.
It's set at a fucking table.
Well, they had to work overnights.
Yeah, They had to film it at 3 a.m. when she is, of course, logically recording a podcast. There's some shoe leather about like, oh, he's in a different time zone. That's how they explain that away. Did you see?
It cost $500,000, so it made 40 times
Nice work if you can
its
get
budget.
it.
Yeah.
Super Mario Galaxy?
Did you?
My daughter's
explore
other
the
favorite
galaxy?
movie?
You're just naming children's movies.
Yeah.
What about the Christophers? That's good. Go see that.
Oh,
I do want to see the Christopher.
Joey,
you'd like
you'd
that?
like the Christopher.
What
I know,
about
I
the
would love the
drama? The
Christophers.
hot button everyone must have
Okay,
a
the
take.
drama, I nearly made it.
Buttons being pushed.
I nearly made it to the drama.
And then what happened?
I just went back and watched all 4 seasons of 13 Reasons Why instead because
God.
it dealt with a lot of the same
previous hot
the same
button.
material.
Yeah.
Right. Mother Mary? You got to meet Mother?
You got to meet the mother.
No, and I wanted to see that too. But look, Christopher's Mother Mary. Look, these are movies that I am representative of. Sadly, the average
Exactly.
audience
They
member. in the
need-
sense that
they
we were
need
like,
Joey Sims.
I know,
Joey.
but we were like, yeah, I want to try to try to find time for that, and then.
But you're going to see Mortal Kombat 2.
Well, actually, yes, because I saw the first Mortal Kombat in
See?
the AMC Empire 25, and which is, I believe, is where you're going to see Mortal Kombat 2.
This is priorities, guys. This is the right thing to
and
do.
I had a great time.
Of course,
at Mortal
Scorpion
Kombat.
was
It
there, Sub-Zero.
so much
Most of the
fun.
Trump cabinet, in fact. I'm having fun. You didn't see Project Hail Mary? All of America
No,
saw that one.
that's the kind of crazy one.
He's got a little rock buddy.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with this gentleman named Rocky.
Rocky. No, he was puppeteered by an artist
the cow guy.
who I know well.
Yeah, the cow guy, right?
He was
the
James
cow.
Ortiz, who did
He was the cow guy.
he did the
Into the Woods. He was
Yeah,
the cow.
he
He
was the
comes
cow.
from the theater world. He did Milky White for the Into the Woods Broadway
The best
revival.
gag I ever
Saying
saw.
Rocky was like a Broadway guy before he made his transition to
To
movies.
space.
Yeah, so Rocky operated.
Yeah, Rocky is real.
Yes, I know
Puppets,
this.
the St.
He's
James
one of my
Theater.
good friends.
friend of the pod.
Wuthering Heights? Did you wuther?
I
do
did
Wuthering.
Wuther.
You scaled the heights.
Yeah.
I did
The
Wuther.
Bride?
walls.
Did you marry?
This is a fun
her?
game.
I know. I'm just having fun. Can you tell I'm not like that eager to talk about this movie?
The Bride, when I thought The Bride was a musical, I was like,
Well,
I gotta go see
it
that.
has
And then people were
it
like,
has a dash of that.
yeah,
There's a dash. They put on the
Yeah.
Ritz for 20 minutes or whatever.
yeah,
You didn't see it.
no.
Oh, interesting. Return to Silent Hill. Did you return to Silent Hill? Did you get in the Iron Lung? I'm getting deeper now.
This is a game I like. This time of year, we're recording this episode in May. It will come out in July. Is that correct?
Sounds plausible.
So the summer just kicked off. And it means it's the final moment where the top 10 box office movies of the year is still kind of wacky. Right? Where it's not like there are movies that can be in the top 10 that were not blockbusters.
Sure.
So Reminders of Him is currently the 10th highest grossing film of the year.
We love it.
Just
It's
yet
been
another
there, it
Colleen
shall
Hoover.
stay.
Is that a Hoover joint?
Yeah,
it's
but
a Hoover.
the drama might overtake it. The drama might briefly be the 10th highest grossing
Because the drama's really been had staying
Been holding
power.
steady.
Yeah.
But
Movies
right
like
now,
this.
yeah. Super Mario Galaxy, Project Hail Mary, Michael Hopper's Devil Wears Prada 2. Haven't seen?
Oh no, yeah, I do need to see that.
Scream 7, Goat, Wuthering Heights, Send Help.
I
So-
saw Send Help.
Okay, so you saw 2 out of the 10.
Woof.
This year's needed Joey in the cinemas.
You're seeing too many dang plays.
You're seeing
It's
too many
the
dang
March
plays.
and April is the height of the
of the theater season.
It's
Tony season.
But I'm usually not totally absent from the movie theater. Something went wrong.
You work in the theater district, not to dox you.
You host a theater podcast,
and
House
we will
Closed.
talk about, it's called House Closed?
It's called House Closed, Theater We Saw.
Theater We Saw,
yes,
right.
Which I host with my friend Connor Scully.
And we'll talk about that, and we'll introduce what this show is in 1 second. But because you work in the theater district, you are near the two busiest theaters and movie theaters in New York of like, the MC Empire, what's on screen 25, baby.
Well, this is what I used to. Yeah, this is what I used to do. This is how my life used to be structured when I had different part-time jobs in Midtown. Is that it would be like I'd go in the morning, do like a shift at one job, go to the Empire, AMC Empire 25.
Take off your Aladdin outfit. Joe used to wear an Aladdin outfit.
I didn't wear an Aladdin.
You'd ride the carpet just down the block.
I was an usher at Aladdin.
Didn't he have like a hat or something?
I think you're conflating it with when I worked concessions at Elf the Musical, and I wore like a little elf hat, a little elf hat. Yes, yeah. And I wore like a uniform as an usher at Aladdin, but just like a
but nice you'd ride the carpet down to the end of the block.
So I'd ride the carpet down, and then I'd have a few hours before my evening work. So then I'd slot in whatever was playing in screen 24 at the 25. So that was how I saw a lot of
George Wendt originated Santa Claus in Elf the Musical.
Yeah, that was my first job in the city was doing concessions at the
Revival
Broadway, the second engagement.
Wayne Knight was Santa
of Elf the Musical. Was not a revival. It was just them.
It was
classified as a revival on Wikipedia.
I guess it is. It was basically just them doing the same thing again. Just like a second engagement of the same production.
This will only run 8 weeks a year. It will come back only in the holiday window.
They brought it back 2 years in a row, and then they brought it back again a few years. And then, like, if they don't bring it to Broadway, then it tours over the
Grinch musical.
It's been done on the West End 4 separate times.
Yeah,
wow,
and
but it's not even set in England.
Who of the British Santas been?
Was Santa my Santa for my one for the second one was
Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight.
Yeah, Wayne Knight, the great.
The only Santa I recognize among the British revivals is the third time. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I don't know any of the British ones. The third time they did it on Broadway, though, it was Sean Astin. Now, do you like getting that call as Sean Astin, where they're like, "We think you're Santa-sized now"? Sean. We
Santa.
We saw you recently, and sort of Santa age. Like, are you ready to put on the beard?
And George Wendt both have years on him.
They do.
Due credit to Sean Astin. Wendt and Knight did the original,
the national president.
The original, yes, exactly. The original Santa track of that show, which is he pops up basically at the beginning and at the end, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for them, they're like, great. Easy gig,
Princess
Broadway
part.
money, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
For Astin, they reworked it so that he had a second role in the show that he played for significant bits of the middle
Mr.
part.
Greenway.
He was like the evil boss.
Okay.
The one who's
of
like
the publishing company.
That's thematically resonant. Like, he's good and bad.
It's a Captain Hook, Mr. Darling kind of thing. Interesting. Well, no, not the father. You're saying he played the James Caan character's boss.
Yes, that's
Michael Lerner's role in the movie.
I suppose that. I'm just saying, like, sort of father figures. But I guess you're right that James Caan is more of a father figure to Caan and Asner are the two big father figures to Buddy the Elf.
They are
the film Elf.
But everyone forgets that Academy Award nominee Michael,
a great
Lerner,
actor, for the first time in his life, played an ornery boss.
Get me a children's book. I want that Buddy the Elf feeling.
Do you think Michael Lerner maybe contributed to a sort of negative stereotype over the years? The amount of bosses he played behind desks, yelling. I don't know.
Listen, this is Blank Check with Griffin and David. I'm Griffin.
I'm David.
It's a podcast about filmographies, directors who have massive success early on in their careers and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion projects they want. Sometimes those checks clear, sometimes they bounce, baby, and sometimes they vanish into the ether.
They do.
In the blink of an eye.
In the blink of an eye.
Truly, this was a one blink movie.
Blinky, blinky.
Yeah, this one blinked. I almost was like, has it left Hulu? And then it was like, no, it's there. Okay, phew. Okay.
It is wild that twice he has had this ultimate get out of jail free card of like, guys, don't worry. Toy Story 5 is coming out in months.
Yeah.
Mere weeks from now.
Yeah.
I will have one of the highest grossing films of the year, if not in history.
I also feel like John Carter was an actual, like, much discussed bomb, whereas this is more just something like no one ever really knew it happened, so it'll stick to him a little bit
It's
less.
an interesting, right. Is it worse to have the most existent bomb in history or a true tree falls in the middle of the woods and no one's there to hear it movie?
Right. I think it's better to have I made a movie that didn't exist. Like Chris Weitz, who's been on our show and discussed this. He made The Golden Compass, a movie that bankrupted a studio. God bless. Mwah. Love you, Chris. And then
Love you, New Line. Rest in power.
Yeah, rest in power. Now you're a shingle. Went to the great shingle area in this guy. And then he made Afraid.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I refer to it.
Yes.
Afraid.
You
see, you don't even know what happened.
Afraid.
Yeah, he made a movie called...
I don't even... And I know about these movies that don't exist.
He made an AI horror movie called Afraid, but the AI... in Afraid is capitalized.
Yes.
Afraid!
Not his title. It had a different title.
No, it was called They Listen.
Yes.
And then Sony was like, it should be called Afraid!
Afraid!
And he has copped to its non-existence on this very show. He
Yes.
made a movie that didn't exist.
He went through a Barton Fink-esque atonement. Yes.
Also, this movie premiered at Sundance and then dropped on Hulu like a month later. So it's not, so I don't know all the behind the scenes, but that doesn't give a feeling of them being like, oh, we want to try to get someone to put this in theaters.
That was always the exact plan, and he has been transparent about when they greenlit this movie, they were like, it's going to Hulu.
It's a Hulu original. I think the Sundance premiere, if anything, was sort of a gesture of goodwill, or a kind of like, but you can be at a festival, that's cool.
Yes,
right.
It was right. That is the way to give this movie a launch. I don't know how much of an effort they would put into a traditional marketing campaign, if not for, we can go to Sundance and you could do a bunch of interviews and a screening with a bunch of press there.
It can happen that the film debuts at Sundance and people are like, we don't like it.
Sure.
And then that's bad.
But I know the date was set for when it was dropping on Hulu before it went to Sundance. In my memory, there was sort of an all-in-one announcement of this will premiere at Sundance and go to Hulu on February 27th. It's called In the Blink of an Eye. It's a film made by Andrew Stanton, whose films we're covering in a miniseries we're calling Pod Seat.
Oh.
No, you don't like that?
Joey,
I don't want to derail the series.
It's going to look really good.
Pretty far along, too.
It's look really good on the graphic.
We've only got Toy Story 5 left,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you better like it.
Joey,
you guys have done John Carter.
We leaped across that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
of course.
Who's the John Carter guest?
Matt Singer.
The great Matt Singer.
Great episode.
Are you a John Carter fan? Interrogator?
Are you Joey Sims of Mars?
Yeah.
I rewatched a chunk of it ahead of this episode. I didn't have time to get through the whole thing. It didn't play as well to me as the first time I watched it. I remember watching it a few years ago and being like, this is kind of like a glorious mess. Like, wow, this is like a crazy, like, obviously this doesn't work, but what ambition. And I thought I would be revisiting that feeling. And then I watched it again and was like, oh, Jesus, this is like, just the way it starts is like so rough. Anyway.
I think the bookends are tough with that one. I think there were some notes on that from me in the episode. The non-Mars stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a similarly ambitious movie. I mean, this is not like a...
That's true.
Yes.
It's less, right. Like the scale of it is more suggested than shown, but right. I mean,
but it is, I would say, narratively and emotionally ambitious. And it does feel like on paper a high risk movie. If you don't get this right, it's going to be embarrassing kind of movie.
Right. Who's our guest?
Our guest, as I said, Joey Sims, a host of House Closed, which I Googled to make sure I was getting the name of the podcast correct. And are you aware, Joey, that there is another podcast hosted by a man named Joey Sims? I assume not you. I assume you're not doing double duty, called Healing Word. Join Joey Sims as we are challenged by studying the Bible to grow in our relationship with God and encouraged to apply God's word in our life. It sounds like ripe material for a Jay Ferguson sitcom.
Yes, House Closed.
Yes.
Theater we saw with Sims and Scully.
Big two.
My co-host, the big two. My co-host being the lovely Connor Scully, a theater producer. and we see. Yeah, I'm doing my plug.
Do your plug.
We see 2 shows together. Sometimes a guest will also have seen the same 2 shows.
Okay.
That are either currently running, like Broadway, Off-Broadway, Off-Broadway, whatever. And then we talk about those 2 shows. Or in our latest episode, the 4th episode that we just did, it was 3 shows. So we're 4 episodes in and we already broke our format.
You people are
sorry.
How many of your episodes have been MJ the Musical so far?
Well, we're saving MJ the Musical. So over the summer, when things slow down in the theater world, we'll do a 10-episode series analyzing MJ the Musical.
Right.
All of the decisions that happened there.
Will you, during the slowest months, like check in with more long-running shows?
Yeah. We're trying to figure out, like, over the summer, like, what, like, fun things can we do? Like, we want to do, like, Perfect Crime. You know, that show that's been running off-Broadway for a million.
Joey?
You know about Perfect Crime.
I have been really tempted to go see Perfect Crime. And in fact, Zach Cherry, very recent guest on this podcast, most recent guest on this podcast.
That's right.
He and I have been strategizing to go see Perfect Crime together because he didn't know about it, and I told him, and he's fairly obsessed now.
New York's longest running play.
I haven't seen it. It bills itself as New York's longest running play. It is this, like, god-awful, like, murder mystery that's been running
what if it's good?
The theater center.
It says here it's perfect.
Right. What used to be the Snapple Theater.
What used to be the Snapple Theater
but that used to have the Fantastics.
Yes.
Many years ago.
Right,
it's true.
yeah.
And the venue is owned now by the lead actress, right?
I believe she owns the venue.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
Content warning: suicide. This sounds dark.
Well, that's a spoiler
and
alert.
She has
put
appeared.
it on the fucking website.
She stars in the show, produces the show, like hands out the playbills. You know, like one of those. She's been doing it since it started. I think she claims she's never missed a performance. I'm not sure if that's true.
No,
they're dark on Wednesdays though. Lazy,
and they were like uninterrupted. You know, up until
the pandemic. I know she's like griped about that a lot. But there's also
she didn't want to close. She was like,
oh, good.
But she's like missed family members' weddings.
Oh yeah,
right.
And there was a point,
her children don't know her.
There was a point that she was appearing in another play at the same time, and she was still doing Perfect Murder. Like, what's it called?
Perfect Crime.
For crying out loud! How dare you talk about the best show on earth?
But she would like do her walk on in the other play and then run over to the Snapple Theater and do. Let me know when you actually make plans to go see it, because it
has done 15,000 performances.
I've been really eager to go, and I need the kick in the butt.
It's been running as long as I've been alive. Essentially, it started a year after I was born, probably in my honor.
I should clarify: their performances were interrupted one other time by a very iconic event. I remember this press release so well, so I was just pulling it back up to remember. Off-Broadway's Perfect Crime and The Office, the musical, because the Office parody musical runs in the same building, halt performances due to theft of pipes at the theater.
Someone stole some copper pipes?
I just want to find this. Burglars broke...
I'll fix your pipes for you.
Burglars broke into... the vacant restaurant below, made their way to the basement of the building, disconnected, and then stole every piece of copper pipe they could find. This is quoting from the press release that the show put out. Leaving the building without any access to water. The criminals returned in the early hours today, smashing the front doors. They've not yet been... Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they were also interrupted when all of their copper pipes were stolen.
What year was that?
We're pipeless.
That was in 2022. And I don't know if these hoodlums were ever identified.
Did you know that after the end of the show, you are given a 2-page answer sheet to explain the show because it's complex?
Yes.
Is that because people were complaining? Like, I don't understand the ending.
7, 8. Here's some other facts. It's run in 8 different theaters since 1987. It's at 8 venues.
Premiered off-Broad, like in the West Village at the Courtyard Playhouse.
November
may not exist anymore.
2016, Gary Busey spent 2 weeks in the role of Lionel.
2 fantastic weeks.
November 2016, kicking America while it was down.
Why did he do that? Pray tell.
They've starcast other people. John Schneider was briefly in Perfect Crime.
Love him. One of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Perfect Politics.
But wait, isn't he the one who isn't the other one worse? Or are both Dukes?
No, Schneider's
pretty bad.
The bad one.
Is Schneider the one who was in Smallville?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's never taken a sick day. She's missed only 4 performances, Catherine Russell. The last in 1995 to attend her brother's wedding. That was the last time she was willing to go to a wedding over doing the show.
So the Snapple has 2 theaters, 2 stages.
No longer the Snapple. So it used to be sponsored by Snapple.
It's eternally the Snapple.
We're going to call it the Snapple.
because there used to be this big...
There was the Snapple sign.
The Snapple signs, the caps that would go round and round.
I'd scaled a building to try to see the fact underneath because it wasn't facing the street.
And it was like, fact? Perfect crime, $60. Come on.
Don't steal our pipes.
Right. Pipes not for sale.
And they took them off. Now it is just.
Well, do you think they were like, "Hey, Snapple, do you want to sponsor the theater?" And they were like, "We sponsor a theater."
I mean, I will say, if you go to the Wikipedia page for the theater center, the image it shows you immediately is Snapple.
Yeah. You can't shake that.
You can't shake
that.
But
I know that one of the theaters is the Jerry Orbach Theater. After the great Jerry,
that's where
he was in the Fantastics
ran for many years. Yes,
yes,
he was in the original cast.
And that's where I guess the Office musical is. The Anne L.
I know that. I go every night.
Yeah, right now they have Perfect Crime, the Office parody musical, and they have one other parody musical going right now.
It looks like they also have Friends, the unauthorized musical parody.
There we go.
And Singfeld, which is an unauthorized Seinfeld parody musical.
Wow.
I saw also a sadly now closed Love Actually parody musical at the same venue. It was actually not long after theaters reopened after COVID that I went to see that show.
And you were happy.
And my main memory of it was that the Alan Rickman character was performed by a guy who was in full like Snape garb. And like anytime anyone would talk to him, he'd pull out his wand and you get it. It was kind of funny.
Expecto adultery.
There you go.
Perfect Crime reopened April 2021. It was the first show in New York City to get approval from Actors Equity to resume performances. You just imagine that Catherine Russell was like
de Blasio,
scratching her thighs for 14 months, like digging her nails and being like, when can I get back on the fucking stage?
De Blasio appeared at their first performance. I think he gave a little speech.
There's Fiorello, the musical, of course, which is about LaGuardia, right? It's the famous Broadway musical. When will we get our de Blasio musical? Bill.
Is there...
Tall Bill.
I was going to say, who's the tallest musical theater actor we have right now?
Tommy Tune.
Do we have to put Norman Leo Butts on stilts to do the de Blasio? Fuck.
Who is the tallest
tall
Broadway actor? Well, I'll just Google it. Who is the tallest
Broadway actor?
Broadway actor?
Damn.
Yeah.
You bring me on for this type of...
Tommy Tune did come up.
For exactly this type of insight.
Yeah. Harold McGillen, I can tell you.
Sure.
Who is a longtime Phantom, is 6'4". Pretty good. Not as tall as Bill, who's 6'7".
Tommy Tune's 6'6".
And then Timothy Hughes, that's the big man from Hades Town.
I was thinking of the big guy from
now,
Hades Town.
He's more of an ensemble player.
He's, very hot.
But I remember that with Hades Town where there was the one big guy.
Yeah, the tall.
Because they've got all the guys in this with the big hammers who are like, in industrial hell.
I mean, you're also saying he's more of an ensemble guy. This is maybe his breakout. This is the thing that makes him a leading man.
I mean,
de Blasio.
Yeah, you know what? Get him out there. Yeah, first act, de Blasio is mayor. Second act, de Blasio is horn dog.
I was going to say, second act is just sitting down with the New York Times for that piece.
Just like de Blasio, like on the apps. It's just like de Blasio being like, field, eh?
I'll get a match one of these days. Even if they hire someone like this Hughes guy, they should still put the actor on stilts and make him so tall that his head is not visible in the proscenium arch.
That'd be good.
It should be like Police Squad style. He's out of frame.
This film came out in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So look. There was nobody out here who was like, when are you guys covering it in the blink of an eye and can I be on the show?
Literally nobody.
Joey has a new show. He is a new podcast. It's a show. A show about shows. He is my brother.
And forgot to mention the credits. Longtime brother of yours.
Hey, and uncle.
And he is my uncle.
Funkle.
What? No, he's the uncle to. He's a wonderful uncle to my children. How are my kids doing?
One of your younger sons has some anger issues, but
it's true.
But overall they're doing great.
He's got a lot of rage.
It's Rocksteady.
No, Bebop.
Oh, they have names too.
Well, yeah.
It's so funny to watch him do the math.
To do the math, yes. It's why I tee him up every time. Because I like that he has to like seriously remember the canon he's maintaining.
Yes.
Yeah, and so you were like, I'd love to, plug my show on the podcast. So, like what's coming up? Like Scorsese, could I do Hugo? And I'm like, Hugo's a 2027 episode for us. It's going to be a while
away.
And I was like, look.
You know what's coming up in the blink of an eye.
I got an empty spreadsheet cell right here in front of me for a much more recent episode. Yeah. If you'd care to fire up Hulu, HULU.com.
It felt sort of in keeping with my, some of my appearances so far on the show. My first was Lost in Space.
A great
as
movie.
a sibling's choice.
Yes. Ratatouille.
An actually great movie.
Yes.
Ratatouille, an actually great movie.
A double sibling episode.
Yes, but then Polar Express.
A cancer you infected us with.
That one I requested.
Yes, and now David has seen that movie like 80 times and has like fucking Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Never let
it is fun.
It was fun in theaters.
I was thinking about the era of the siblings' choice, a thing where we needed to fill slots on the schedule, and we were like, what are fun ideas for episodes? Both of my siblings' choices got 20 years later Lego sequels.
Right. That's a good point, right? We just had Romilly on the show because Devil Wears Prada 2. Space Jam, of course, got the perfect and well-remembered.
They started a new legacy. Yes.
And what's LG Rhythm up to lately?
Running
for 2028 Republican nomination.
I was going to say. He's the entire cabinet.
He greenlit Michael?
Or he's selecting the cabinet.
LG! Did you see Space Jam: A New Legacy?
No, is this the Don Cheadle AI thing?
Yes. His name is LG Rhythm.
He's an LG Rhythm.
Connor Ratliff has a running bit where he insists on calling that character the king of content, even though he's never seen the movie and he won't be corrected on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what are the chances we get a Lost in Space Lego sequel? And you're like, they're actually zero. We got the Netflix series. But I think with Hurt dead.
Oh, yeah, that's the top reason.
That's the top reason. Who's going to bring the Hurt if not Big Bill?
Look, Goldsman is after amassing power at Paramount. Yeah. Goldsman is like calling up the execs. He's like, listen, I wrote a draft of Lost in Space 2.
Wait a second, David. I think I know what you're going to say.
Happened?
Well, I mean, I was trying to point to our President Red Hulk who's over there. But
we bought new shelves.
We're remodeling the office. I'm not sure where President Hulk is right now. Do we know, Ben? Okay.
I'm not certain. He was respectively stuffed away.
He's our president.
So yeah, and I did salute him.
Let's say he's visiting Camp David.
Yes.
Gotta
see the blossoms.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler, where are my pills?
So are you suggesting
like fucking recast
Harrison Ford?
Swap him in.
Slot him in there.
Be like, we got Ford. Everyone else is back. Mimi Rogers.
Yes.
Matt LeBlanc, Lacey Chabert, the fucking kid who played the kid.
Blarp.
They're all back.
Jared Harris. We don't let him talk.
We will redub him again.
Yes.
Gary Oldman only in Spider form.
Yes.
Heather Graham. She's probably the most still looks like herself of all the people I just mentioned.
Yes.
Like she's aged into. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, she's still Heather Graham.
She's doing the new White Lotus season.
Is she on that?
I think so.
Did you see our friend Max Minghella on it?
I did see that.
Well.
Checking in. Ding, ding, ding.
But Lost in Space 2, I'd love to see it. It does seem unlikely. I also feel like Stephen Hopkins has not worked of late.
Yeah.
In Space.
What was his last film?
I don't think he did any more films. Didn't he just retreat back to television?
No, you are wrong. And I remember his last film, of course, because it was Race, the Jesse Owens biopic that came out 10 years ago that has a lot of Lenny Riefenstahl. Like you watch it and you're like, this is going to be a Jesse Owens biopic. And they're like, yeah, sure. He ran the race. Lenny Riefenstahl, though, played by Carice Van Houten, is like a big part of the movie because of course it's about the 36 Olympics, but like it's maybe a little too concerned with her, probably because she's a fascinating figure in history, but you're kind of like, isn't this the Jesse Owens movie?
Well, they have a little bit of a will they won't they thing going. So.
Talk about an insane filmography, though. Dangerous Game, Nightmare on Elm Street,
right.
The Dream
He
Child,
was a solid genre director.
Predator 2, Judgment Night, Blown Away, The Ghost of the Darkness.
Blown Away and Ghost in Darkness are him leveling up to like a bigger scale genre thing.
Then Lost in Space is like you get to do a big fucking special effects.
This is a giant special effects studio movie. Yeah. Right. It was New Line, but still,
And then Under Suspicion.
I've never seen. That's
of course, the big three. Hackman, Freeman, Bellucci.
Ooh.
Then The Life and Death of Peter Sellers HBO movie.
Which is like not bad.
Yeah.
But it's a TV movie.
The Reaping. Hilary Swank.
That's the Hilary Swank 10 Plagues of the Bible movie.
Correct.
Where she's like, I have 2 Oscars. And I'm like, then why are you fighting locusts? Hillary.
That is a brutal retort.
You know what I mean?
Why are you fighting locusts?
It's not like All About Steve where Sandra Bullock's like, look, I filmed this right before I won an Oscar. It's like, it's 3 years after $1 Million Baby. I'm like, you have 2 Oscars.
Yeah.
You had to do The Reaping?
Yeah.
And then Race.
And then Race. Yeah, then there's 9 years between The Reaping and Race, and he hasn't made a film since.
He's made some TV since. You're here to discuss Andrew Stanton's In the Blink of an Eye. This came out February 27th. Then I thought, Leap Day. And then I'm like, no. Leap Day is February 29th. Then I had the thought, what movies came out on February 29th? Because that's rare.
Oh, sure.
I found 3.
Okay.
You want to hear them?
Yep, please.
Semi-Pro.
Yeah.
February 29th.
Okay.
2008.
Not a good movie in my memory.
No. The Other Berlin Girl. Also February 29th.
Okay.
2008.
Same year.
Yes. Here's the most important. Well, because it's every 4 years.
Yeah.
Here's the best one.
Yeah.
An extremely goofy movie.
Okay.
February 29th, 2000.
That was pretty funny.
Was it? No, we get to do that.
That's a DTV though.
It was direct.
But that's a wonderful film. That's it. That's it's a pretty excellent picture. If you ask me. What if it's Goofy movie back to school? It's Max's like, finally I get to move out and be my own man.
Right.
And Goofy's like, Hayuk, I'm signing
I'm the dean.
He decides he wants to take classes and bring disco back.
Ah, of course.
Yeah. So there's a lot of shake your groove thing in that movie. BB Newworth plays a hot beatnik love interest for Goof.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Max have a love interest?
He does. I'm trying to remember.
He's gay. It'd be pretty awesome if they'd done that.
It'd be pretty awesome if in the year 2000.
Fucking get over it.
I'm trying to remember who voiced. I'm sure it was like someone who was on a fucking Fox or WB drama at the time. In the Blink of an Eye came out this year.
I'm seeing here that Vicki Lewis is the charismatic.
You're right.
And BB Newworth is a librarian. Just to let you know.
Okay, so Vicki Lewis is the beatnik who is Max's love interest, and BB Newworth is the librarian who is the dad's life
age-wise, but I wasn't going to say anything.
I'm here to tell you that Vicki Lewis plays PJ's love interest. Who the fuck is PJ?
PJ is the best friend.
Forgive me for not remembering who PJ Goofy is.
Yeah, of course. He's Pete's son.
Oh, he's the chunkier one. The bigger
guy. But then wait a second. Does Max not have a love interest?
He's an incel.
Okay.
He starts looking at 4chan.
I can't believe that I'm doing this.
Okay.
Can we're about 45 minutes.
All right. You know what? This is going to be a 90-minute episode anyway, so let's talk about In the Blink of an Eye. I do have a dossier if you want me to open it.
Oh, yes, please.
Incredibly, JJ did research on this movie.
That is astonishing.
It's a feature film.
Sciencey.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I'm sure they built sets and stuff. They didn't just like make it in his backyard.
Mm-hmm.
2016, Andrew Stanton made Finding Dory. 2026, he made In the Blink of an Eye. So that's 10 years.
Yeah.
What did he do in between?
Many things.
Live action television.
Yes.
I think basically post Dory, he basically was like, I want to make live action stuff and there's lots of TV and like it's a way to do it.
He did a recent interview leading up to Toy Story 5 where he said that he intends for Toy Story 5 to be his final animated film. And he said it's just that these movies take so long. And I love animation, but I was never primarily an animation person. I grew up like working at an art house theater in high school, and that's when I really fell in love with film. And I'm into all different types of movies, and it's been a great blessing to work at a place like Pixar and have that sort of freedom and leeway. But you can get a lot more done in live action. And I think there was a hope that, well, Finding Dory resets the board a little bit from the stink of John Carter, and now I will try to make a smaller budgeted live action film. And there are many scripts that he has optioned and signed up for, but to sort of get his reps in. Meanwhile, he did a tremendous amount of live action TV.
He directed episodes 5 and 6 of the second season of Stranger Things. I haven't seen them because Barb's not involved. Obviously, my stance on Stranger Things is no Barb, no David.
Barb purist. A Barb absolutist, in fact.
Yes. You watched Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Do you remember Andrew Stanton's work on Stranger Things?
I mean, Stranger Things has a pretty solid, like, established visual style that I feel like even when you're bringing in like Stanton
like
or
Vecna
even like
has a
Frank
floor
Darabont
inside of him. Is it Vecna or fucking what is it? The wildebeest?
Yeah, it's Vecna.
Demogorgon.
Vecna lives on top of that tummy floor. He lives in the tummy. The tummy is Vecna's home. That was the twist. Joey, I have never watched Stranger Things. I believe just because I try to keep tabs on Stanton stuff. He directed the 11 like punk episode.
Oh, did he do that one?
Yes.
That one that they kind of, it was
did he?
A second season, like almost a like failed backdoor pilot thing.
A little bit of a kind of one-off self-contained episode.
Self-contained
No,
story.
he didn't direct that one.
He didn't? Okay.
No, that was Rebecca Thomas.
Interesting.
He directed episodes 5 and 6, and I can tell you like Hopper?
This is season 2.
Yeah.
That's all. Hopper.
Yeah, he got lost in a tunnel and some 11 appears to be involved.
I'm sure he did a good job. I got to say the only ones that I ever remember noticing like, oh, there's a bit of extra flavor here was when Darabont directed a couple episodes in the last season of Stranger Things. And you noticed a few things where you're like, oh, okay, that has a little swish to it. But
now, this is a show I never stuck with. I only watched the first season, but I know you watched Pinata, the 6th episode of the 4th season of Better Call Saul.
It's an excellent episode. And Better Call Saul is a show I adore. I think
you're a big fan, I know.
Yes, I think it's like a masterpiece. But that's a very good episode. He directed an episode of Legion.
He did the 4th episode of Tales from the Loop. He did 4 total episodes of a show I love called For All Mankind on Apple TV, including, in my opinion, its best ever episode.
Wow.
He did the 3rd episode. It's the one where I don't remember like the names of the episode, but like where Joel Kinnaman, God bless. There's a lot of Joels out there.
Robert Kopp.
Where his adoptive daughter decides like she wants to be an astronaut. And they have this huge fight. Or she wants to be in the military or whatever, like following his footsteps. And they have this huge fight in a living room, him and his wife and the daughter. And the camera like sticks with it, moves all around. And it's so good. And it's so beautifully acted. It's the show at its peak. I mean, that show...
I got to start watching this show.
It's fallen off a little. Season 5's a little... It's kind of like, guys, I think you're done, full of ideas.
Our friend Alan Sepinwall,
so good.
in a text, recently revealed to me that they are about to launch a spin-off show that is retelling everything that's happened on For All Mankind so far from the perspective of the Russians. They're just...
This is correct.
Resetting.
Star City. It seems like I don't think it's going to run 5 seasons, put it that way.
Yeah. That's just a wild idea to be like a triumphant run. We're wrapping up. By the way, the spinoff is starting in 3 months and it's just going back to
the
first point of the story.
I'm like, we know what happened. So what do you,
right.
like, what do we, anyway, whatever. Who knows? It's also in English, despite all the Russian scenes in the show being in Russian in the main show. But clearly they were like, well, the whole show can't be in Russian. Then I'm like, well, then what are you doing?
Yeah, we fucking maybe don't make it.
He also directed an episode of 3 Body Problem, and he wrote 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
A show I recently watched for the first time, and I will admit, I think is quite terrible.
Quite bad, but he's like, the credits on that are like, he's like one of like a million names.
They're very
that like went in and out
people.
The door.
Who knows exactly?
Who knows who?
Those Star Wars shows have a lot of wacky credits attached to them because at one point this person was supposed to do this or this was supposed to be a movie.
Right.
Hey, if you would like put him as an example, put Stanton in charge of like, hey, you're our like guiding vision for this show. Maybe it would have been better, but I don't think it was that.
No, it's odd because he gets credited as a writer on 2 episodes, but I don't even think he's a producer and he didn't direct any.
Yeah.
And it made sense.
It just feels like you like stumbled into a writer's room for 2 weeks and then you were like, oh, fuck this.
But it's also wild because it's not like he worked in a writer's room on any other shows from the time he started.
No, but like, I feel like that's kind of like what being in the Pixar Brain Trust is,
a little bit. Yes.
They just don't get credited that way.
Totally. And I also think it makes sense that moment, Obi-Wan, is where they're really starting to widen the aperture of like, maybe we're going to make a ton of stuff for Disney Plus. If I'm Andrew Stanton, I'm like, I just want to get in the door at Lucasfilm. I want to fucking talk to them about Star Wars shit.
Sure. And I think a lot of people who worked on the Star Wars TV shows were basically like, I'd like to do something to do. I'd love to be on a set with a lightsaber. Like, it would just be awesome. Like, I grew up with Star Wars. Like, this rocks.
I mean, obviously he makes sense.
He does.
To have done something.
And a show that made sense was Obi-Wan Kenobi, a perfect miniseries that made sense. I
assume I will have griped about this
Everyone
on our Mandalorian.
looked down the camera and was like, this makes sense.
And Grogu episode. But it is astonishing to me that almost all of the Disney Plus Star Wars shows are about a person with a child being chased by someone.
Yes, being chased by the fourth most important evil Jedi adjacent dark side guy, like, in this sector.
They present someone
like Ray Stevenson, R.I.P. God bless him, shows up and he's like, and I'm also not a Sith.
Yes,
but I kind of like him, and I'm not a Jedi neither. But I have a lightsaber, and I'm like, well, what are you? He's like, I don't know.
I was just like, how are these all the exact same premise where you're like semi-stoic lead, younger, more vulnerable, sort of like under the wing, they have to protect. They're looking for something and someone else is chasing them. And the person who's chasing them is established as really evil. And the longer things go on, you're like, they're only kind of half evil. They're all that, save for Andor.
Which is probably the best one. I mean, Ahsoka.
Has anyone thrown that take out?
That Andor's good.
That people are like, Andor.
Ben, we might want to cut that out just because.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, my microphone's on fire. You've watched Ahsoka, right? Ahsoka.
I watched Ahsoka.
I'm gonna watch season 2. Why not? I love punishment.
Yeah, I want to see what happens with what the hell is the blue guy who
Thrawn.
I think Ahsoka is so fascinating
Thrawn,
to me because
I swear to God, they're like, get ready to meet the scariest villain in the world. He's fucking Joe Biden in that show. He's so quiet. He's like,
but I just, the end of that season 1 is so wild to me because it's Filoni basically being like, I am setting up this Thrawn guy as like, this is it. Like, this is the new guy.
Right. Because the show mostly has other smaller villains that she's dealing with.
No, but not just in the show. Like, to me, it felt like it was suggesting, this is your new bad.
He's Thanos.
He's the engine of the Star Wars
extend
TV
into
universe.
other shows.
Totally.
Like, I want to make movies, and I'm sure he probably does want to do all this. But I'm watching it, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that's happening. So what the hell is this?
I don't know.
Do we have to watch season 2 for the Grogu?
You don't have to do shit.
Well, I know
season 2 hasn't happened and won't come out.
It won't come out by next week. Thank God.
Because that's your
season 2.
Year, I think,
it doesn't even have. It doesn't even have.
But it has been filmed, and Rory McCann replaced Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean, the man died. Look,
I mean, we should say
was not the problem. Exactly,
he actually was the best part of the show. He was the best performance,
and you were kind of like, there's something to this idea.
There's something,
right? To like the idea of what he's playing. Obviously, the big problem with Ahsoka is just like she's a non-character.
She's a non-character,
and like I know in the cartoon she's like a spunky teen who's like, I'm a rebel or whatever. But by the time the show, like now that she's a grown-up, she's just like, her vibe is she's serene.
Every character is like that.
I mean, I mean, they're all kind of just like, we are your friend, Ahsoka.
Okay, so we haven't seen Mando and we haven't recorded yet. So I'm going to burn some of these takes here and just remind me to not make these complaints in the Mando episode. Okay. My takeaway watching Ahsoka was like, this feels like watching children perform Shakespeare, where they don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And the only direction they're being given is play it seriously.
And say it slow.
Yes. So everything is like, your character motivation is serious. And I think that is partially that Filoni ran these cartoon shows. I have not watched much of Clone Wars, but I watched the majority of Rebels, which I really liked, and was a show that was fun and had defined characters. And so much of Ahsoka is him being like, I'm bringing all my Rebels characters into live action and then zapping them of any personality because I'm trying to fight the perception that these are children's characters. So everyone is just like saying things really slowly and quietly.
Even fucking like Ezra shows up, who's been built up as. And by the way, you can't have a character called Ezra in Star Wars. It's ridiculous. But he shows up and he's been built up as like, crazy wild Ezra. He's so fun. And then he's pretty much just as dead-eyed as the rest of them.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I always love. I think basically never misses. And we've talked about David, like she's someone who can single-handedly elevate dog shit.
Totally.
And in this, she is so boring and lifeless. Everyone is bad. The villains...
No. The whales.
The whales
there are whales.
are
The
fun.
whales are good.
The whales are good, but everyone had told me the whales were good. I skipped the show when it aired years ago. And I remember at the time people being like, the whales kind of feel like classic Star Wars magic. I got to the whale sequence in the season and I was like, that was good. But if you're telling me that's the high watermark and I have 4 episodes left to go, I'm terrified. I agree with you. The whales are like the one chunk that I felt a little something. Anyway, that's my Star Wars rant over. Also, Ahsoka's like basically not the lead character of that show.
She's not.
She's
because she has no
dead for
personality.
half the season.
Not dead. She's
in a fucking
in between.
She's in the
Yes.
Anakin verse.
Right, she's in the limbo, the Anakin verse. It's just everyone being like, no, we gotta find Ezra. Ezra will know.
Have you watched Skeleton Crew yet?
I'm watching it right
That
now.
one at least has energy.
Yeah.
What?
Did they renew Skeleton?
No,
No.
that's a one.
I think
done.
Skeleton
That was
Crew
one
is
and
done.
done.
That's basically like
Ahsoka's the only thing that's coming back.
when they've announced
And
season
that'll
2
be
is
the end of it.
Like it's
Yes.
over.
And then
They're
Filoni will be shot in the middle of Times Square.
probably. Fucking
Everyone
Death of
forgets,
Stars.
but they announced that Filoni was going to direct a movie that was the culmination of
Right,
all the
the Filoni
This is what I mean.
verse.
I think he thought that was happening.
that was happening. And I think there was a little bit of, we've changed our priorities. Let's just put Grogu on a screen.
right.
And see what happens.
John directs that. We're sorry. We'll let you make Ahsoka season 2 to wrap up those threads.
Yeah.
I honestly think they should just let him, just not for theaters, but like in Disney, let him make whatever crazy fucking movie he wants to
just
make,
let him-
where he brings back all of them through AI, like, you know, Luke, Leia, Han. No, he wants to do this.
Yes,
Let's
of
be
course.
real. And he wants to correct everything that he thinks they did wrong in the sequel series of like, these guys should have been fighting together and they should be fighting Thrawn, I guess. Like, let him make this piece of shit.
Yes, right.
Like
Disney
YouTube fan movie.
It's on the Disney Plus app. It's in a garbage can, and you have to like lift up the lid. And they're like, really? And you're like, yeah, what's in there? They're like, all right, we'll get it out for you. It's like covered in banana peels.
If you press play, the fucking FBI breaks down your door.
There's just a spinning wheel, and it just turns into a question mark, and it's like, come on, wait, that wasn't gonna
Chris
exist.
Hansen shows up.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so you decided to watch the Filoni movie.
You watch the Filoni movie and in the blink of an eye. What's going on with
We
you?
will talk about this like 2 months prior to this, but yeah, I do wonder if they have like a Hail Mary guy, like the James Gunn DC thing. Kathy has retired. Filoni,
We're winding down with
he's going to
Filoni,
go to some cartoon world.
But Filoni is in charge of the whole thing.
I know,
Yeah,
but
but
after
is that
Mando
real?
does poorly, do they go like,
I don't know.
You know, we want a new steward, and but then I don't know who the answer to that question is.
I
Like,
mean,
who's
I
the
think
guy?
I know the answer, which is it's they already announced Simon Kinberg is sort of like overseeing.
That ain't it, my friends.
I know.
Let's do it again.
But they're like, Filoni is in charge of operations, which I also think is partially being like,
Filoni's
maybe
in charge of HR, yeah.
maybe you don't write and direct the stuff as much anymore.
Right,
and that Simon Kinberg's the guy who's sort of like, you got to figure out the movie problem. Everything's
where,
really good over
anyway,
there. In the blink of an eye.
Andrew Stanton
So Andrew Stanton does all this TV. I know the two movies that he came close to making. The one was Revolver. Is that correct, Sims?
All right, well, let me just
Guy
continue
Ritchie
this.
philosophical.
Yeah, he was gonna remake
it. Okay, so Stanton, just to note, he is on the Pixar senior creative team. He was the narrative guru for, literally credited as the narrative guru for Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Hey, Ben.
Okay. Good
Right,
work.
Because this is where once Disney has bought Pixar, they start to send the Pixar brain trust out to other projects at the other tendrils to give advice.
Toy Story 4, he is the writer alongside Stephanie Folsom.
Mm-hmm.
So he created Forky. So obviously he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for that work.
It was in that same recent piece. Toy Story 4 was originally announced as a John Lasseter movie. Weirdly enough, Rashida Jones was writing it with her partner, Will McCormick, her writing partner. It was the Woody Bo Peep reunion movie, but a very different version of it that didn't work for years and years and years, and they kept pushing it back. And then Lasseter steps down, hands off directing. Lasseter, lots of hugging Lasseter, is pushed out of Pixar entirely. And they basically go to Stanton and they're like, can you take a crack at this? Toy Story 4 is a disaster and we cannot cancel it because there is so much money tied up in the idea of marketing and merchandising and the promise to our shareholders that we will have another Toy Story movie. And as he put it, he locked himself in a room and within 6 hours was like, I think I know what the movie is. That he is the Toy Story genius and he is the one who can constantly.
Yeah, that's what he and Joss Whedon did all those years ago, right?
Yes.
When the first one was a disaster and then they locked themselves in a room.
Right. And Joss Whedon was gone after a week and then he continued to just fix everything. And that, yes, he came up with Forky, right? And he wins the Nobel.
I mean, his first big take was Bo coming back. And okay, if 3 was the end of Andy's story, should 4 be kind of well, then what does Woody do now?
The other thing he said, which I think is his real genius with the Toy Story stuff, is the problem they kept butting against with Toy Story 4. And I've read at least 1 or 2 of the scripts that have floated around for the canceled Toy Story 4. They were like, well, we want to tell a love story. We want to make a rom-com. We want to make a movie about Bo and Woody getting back together. And people kept writing movies where they were like, this has nothing to do with them being toys. You're just writing a romance between 2 characters who happen to be toys. And Stanton's always been like, you have to start from the perspective of what are the experiences that are unique to them. And he was just like, well, how do Woody and Bo Peep get split up? What is uniquely traumatizing about that would be connected to them being a toy? Oh, Bo gets donated because the sister has a different relationship to her toys than Andy does, yada, yada, yada. And then the story comes from there.
May 2020, he was attached to something called Chairman Spaceman, which is a adaptation of a Thomas Pierce short story that was published in The New Yorker. That he was going to do for Simon Kinberg's genre films for Searchlight, which is about a corporate raider who renounces his wealth and signs up for an interplanetary mission to colonize the solar system. I don't know, sounds somewhat interesting. It sounds like In the Blink of an Eye is sort of the other heady sci-fi script that then got going.
Correct. These were the 2.
So he jumped to that one.
Yes. And obviously Hulu, Searchlight, all owned by Disney, who owe Stanton for the billions and billions of dollars he's made them.
Right.
But he put it as those were the 2 things I was really serious about. And In the Blink of an Eye came together a little faster. Revolver is
Revolver, a romantic coming-of-age comedy starring Ethan and Maya Hawke. Written by a Stranger Things writer, Kate Treffry.
She's the one who ended up writing the Stranger Things Broadway play.
Of course, in which we saw the first shadow.
The first shadow. That's right.
And to explain the floor thing in that one?
Well, stages traditionally have a floor.
Exactly.
Does Vecna live in a theater?
Is it Vecna that has the floor?
Inside your stomach, there is, in fact, there is a flat floor and people are just walking around.
Hardwood.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Wall-to-wall carpet.
It was.
But be careful of the spikes.
Are there
on the
spikes?
end, because there are spikes, and that's
tummy
how
spikes.
they'll get you. They'll get you right.
You watched
this
the
is how
finale.
they kill Vecna.
Right, they got Vecna. That fucker.
Throw him into his.
And what did Vecna
into
do?
A big spike.
Recession? Made the recession happen? What did he do?
You know what's one of the craziest fucking things?
He wasn't
in
a
the
big
world?
fan of gay people, so that was why he was after.
Vecna?
That was why he was after Will all those years.
Oh, right.
And that's barely a joke. That is basically what they imply in the last season, among many other things.
It is so insane that people dislike that ending so much that within a week they were like, no.
There's another episode.
The ending's bad on purpose because it's an augmented reality experience. It's metatextual and there's a secret episode that's coming out. They would never just whiff this hard earnestly.
Revolver, it's a 60s set thing in which Maya Hawke is a teenager in Anchorage, Alaska, and a flight to Japan carrying the Beatles is forced to stop in Anchorage, and she decides to fuck George Harrison.
That is her goal.
That is the plot of the movie.
That is her goal.
Stanton wanted to make that for 5 years. Eventually, it just never happened. Now, Colby Day, the writer of this movie, who also wrote Spaceman on Netflix,
yes,
right?
A movie I like a lot. Yeah.
He starts writing In the Blink of an Eye when living in New York in the mid-2010s. He goes to the planetarium. Heard of it? In the Hayden Planetarium in the Museum of Natural History. And, they've got a big map of the timeline of the universe. It's a cool place to go. Big Bang and blah, blah, blah. And he said, it gave me an existential crisis, which that can happen when you start thinking about the the vastness of the universe. So he's like, I think when you start to zoom out and you think about what does it mean to be here for not that long, you start to find the meaning of life. He wanted to talk about the idea that even if we don't get much time, the things we do ripple through it. So he's trying to reassure his own anxiety.
That's certainly what this movie is about.
Yeah. So he's like, initial concept is just that he wanted to write about time. So the initial story began with the Big Bang, the first thing in time.
Right, kind of the ultimate prequel.
He also was much more rigid about moving from past to present to future in that order. But I think Stanton pushes it more to like be fluidly jumping between them all, not like it's 3 segments.
This movie was in development for years. It also, from the time that Stanton came attached to the script, was it a blacklist script?
It was on the blacklist
so that's
list in
thing.
2016, I want to say.
Yes. It was on the blacklist in 2016, number 6. But, you get put on the blacklist, everyone comes a calling, but they're also like, by the way, we have to change everything.
Right.
Or whatever. Stanton read the script years later, though, and was like, I'm jealous of whoever wants to try and make this, realizes no one's making it, and decides to jump on board. He calls Colby and says, you love Cloud Atlas as much as I do. And Colby Day says, yeah, I do. I love story circles. That was my goal, was doing a kind of a Cloud Atlas-y thing. Stanton also loves The Fountain, another movie I would say that is trying this kind of thing. And he likes a triptych, he says. He's like, you go to the roots of all that, and there's something deep that all of us connect to about trifectas. Of course, he might be thinking about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I don't know. Famous trifecta.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
So he starts revising. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Obviously,
it's pretty boring.
Obviously, it's super Cloud Atlas-y.
Yes.
It is kind of like a small scale, if you could call it that, or not small scale isn't right, but a more intimate version of Cloud Atlas. It's like, what if we did what Cloud Atlas is trying to do, but we really
it's
tone it down to just these like 3 or so like core relationships
and a kind of really clean line of cause and effect. This is sort of one narrative thread that's touched in 3 different eras.
Yes, and very small lives, like in each of these. I mean, yes, he is placing them in a canvas where it's like, look how huge the impact of these small lives actually
that's in the
is.
Contrast,
but they are,
the 3
pretty
stories,
modest little stories.
Modest is a good way to put it. This was announced in October 2022. It was shot in 2023, and then just sort of was in stasis for 3 years. I've obviously wanted to do Stanton forever. So from the moment this movie was announced, I was like, well, when this comes out, we'll cover him. And then it kept on getting like knocked down the schedule. And it is ideal that this and Toy Story 5 are coming out so close together. And we can do a series that doesn't end on this movie and that has the contrast of both of them in the same year. I did not like this movie went to Sundance and was, I would say, critically ravaged, and then has gone to Hulu with basically like no impact whatsoever. I had, after the snowstorm canceled the premiere, I was like, word's not great. I'm going to have to watch this for the podcast. If I watch it now, will I even remember it by the time we record? Let me just hold off until it's actually time to do this episode. And so I've been dreading it. I did not dislike this movie. I cannot say I liked it, but I felt a little more neutral on it than I was expecting with how negative the word was. I think, Joey, you and I are maybe in a slightly similar space of like, nothing really works for me, but there wasn't anything I bumped on too hard. And I like what it's trying to do, even if I don't think it gets there.
It's a fart sandwich, but it's a sandwich.
This is Ben's review, is that it's a fart sandwich.
In a sense, it's a fart sandwich.
Yes.
But he's just upset that he didn't get to voice the AI friend. I think the movie would have been a lot more fun if Kate McKinnon's AI friend had been voiced by you.
Ben would have been very good.
Who did voice the AI friend?
Was not a name I
spent the whole movie for some reason thinking that some narrative connective tissue they were doing was that the AI was voiced by Rashida Jones.
Sounded
it is not Rashida Jones. It's like some random actress.
It's a little confusing.
But Although I don't know what that would have meant. Anyway, my experience was like in the first 20 minutes or so, especially the very start of the movie, I was like, oh boy, because it starts with like the Sylvia Plath quote, remember, this is now and now and now, and you're like, oh boy. And then we open in like 45,000 BC with cavemen making sparks, and again you're like, all right.
Obviously, if you're going to be invoking 2001 A Space Odyssey, you got to be careful. That's the best science fiction film. So you're inviting quite a comparison there if you're going to be doing that. So obviously, intensely.
So you're starting with that, and then you're going into introducing us to these two other stories, the Rashida Jones and Daveed Diggs, and in the present day, and she's a research scientist, and they're flirting at college, and then
she's a doctoral candidate in anthropology.
She do bones,
and then Greg ? From statistics.
Right.
Well, yeah,
it's
cute.
Right. Two actors I like a lot. They are what is that face you're making?
I'm trying to think what I like Rashida Jones in late.
I like her in this movie, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
She's all right in this movie. Sure. I mean, I found this movie just kind of inert. That was I was not like raging about this, like, oh my God, this is, but it just felt like low energy. I mean,
to complete my thought, then you're introduced to the middle, and then you're introduced to Kate McKinnon in the future.
Right.
And she's on a spaceship, and she's on a mission to like save humanity by taking all of these new
babies in a bag.
Babies in a spaceship to a new home. And I think for the first 20, 30 minutes, you're just like, wow, this is like you said, David, this is very low energy. This is very inert.
It's cross-cutting between all of them really quickly. It's
right,
not
and you're
sort
like,
of
you are taking me right into cross-cutting between three stories, and they all seem pretty boring.
It's got a little bit of the Ahsoka thing of it feels like the tone of this is quote unquote serious, right? And I also think it's not even, Cloud Atlas opens like this, where you're weaving between all of them really quickly as they're setting it up. But Cloud Atlas has twice as many threads, and they're further apart. They're not as thematically linked in an apparent way from the get-go. And then after the first 3 or 4 minutes, which is also more symphonic and stylized, it settles down into we will focus on one for
time,
right, and then go to the others to situate. The first 25 minutes of this just continue to just keep ribboning in a way where you're the energy and the pacing are pretty low and slow.
Well, it's you've gone right into we're jumping between these, but you didn't first establish
you don't feel like you have a grounding
care about any of them.
And the prehistoric one is it's nonverbal. They speak in. It's very much him doing a
Huttonese, I believe.
It's like a quest for fire, It is actors in prosthetics.
Yeah, because they're Neanderthals,
right.
So they or they're Paleolithic people of some sort. But
it's about the meeting of Cro-Magnon and and right. Then there's the present set graduate school section. But I was gonna say I like both of these actors a lot. It is an interesting casting choice to hire two people who are decades older than the characters they're playing.
Yeah, I was just watching The Wizard of the Kremlin, the hottest movie of 2026, which is a movie that begins with Paul Dano playing his character when he's 18 years old, and he's like, I'm at college, and I was just like, just don't show me this. I can't buy this, and it's taking me out of the movie right away.
Also, it's the Ellen McKay thing for me, where I'm
Ellen McKay's a good recent example.
Where I'm
as we know, we're all teenagers right now, and you're like, okay, Ella.
but also it's cast for the age the character is going to spend the majority of the movie
time. Yes, exactly.
This movie jumps ahead. Eventually, we get to a point where Daveed Diggs
see why they did
and Rashida Jones are playing their own age. But I'd say it's a pretty short chunk of the movie.
Yeah, because by that point, the movie is moving along time-wise quite fast.
And then it even goes beyond that to them with old age makeup. So you're at 60% of their screen time is them in their 20s.
Yes.
And they are 44 and 50.
They are. I mean, look.
I know this
they're
was shot a couple
good-looking
years ago.
people. Like,
they're good-looking people. They've aged really well, and I thought the graduate school stuff.
But I didn't totally buy Rashida Jones. It's like, I'm just getting started in grad school.
There is like
with my bones.
I think what is actually pretty fucking effective CGI de-aging on the two of them that I noticed was very subtle, and a lot of that is they're two people with very good genes who have aged very well. But there is like an energy thing of you just feel the two of them playing 20-something in a way that feels a little school play at times.
It makes it confusing how much time is going by.
Correct. It does.
Because I couldn't really... I'm like hearing you say she's in her 20s makes a lot more sense to me now.
Well, because also it's like you can obviously be in your mid-40s and go to graduate school. So you watch it and you're like, I'm not immediately rejecting that Rashida Jones could be in this program. But the longer it goes on, you're sort of like, I think she's supposed to be like 27. You know, there's sort of context clues that develop. And then there's the Kate McKinnon section, which is right. She is on a spaceship by herself with an AI friend.
The year 2417.
Right. So it's like 400 years in the future. And yeah, she's got an AI that is pretty...
Roscoe.
Pretty, I would say, like personable. Is not a Hal. Is actually like conversational and feels friendly and human in its tone, its demeanor. But she's basically in isolation. It's a very kind of WALL-E setup of you're alone on a spaceship looking for the planet that is inhabitable, where life could restart.
There's no like, and this is deliberate, but there's no like great tension to her mission because I believe they've identified the planet. They know where she's going.
They're terraforming
it. They have a whole plan. She's just got to get there.
It should be done by the time I get there, but that's happening.
Yes.
That's
and
not
yes,
my
she is
job.
she is dealing with a problem, which is that something's gone wrong in the ship's systems. But it's all played pretty low key, and they are also they really drip out the information in a way that I actually kind of liked about like what her deal is.
I was going to say, right, the big mystery is like, how is she alive? And like, because she's not going to go in hypersleep. Like, how's she going to just...
The thing is, though, is
because they keep stressing, like, she's doing this for 100 and blah years.
I've rewatched it, and it flies over your head.
You rewatched this movie?
Well, I'm saying I just skipped to see the intro of each character.
Yeah.
It says longevity enhanced pilot.
Oh, does it say that?
I did not notice that.
I think I didn't.
I don't know. I mean, one of her first pieces of dialogue is something about like, oh, how many years do I have until we get there?
Right.
And with the suggestion of the way she's saying it of like me, you know, not like my kids, like me. So you're like, okay, there's something going on with you.
I'm just going to, let's just say the thing, right? This movie is about humanity identifying basically the cure for death. Right? Like scientifically
the
identifying.
way to stop aging.
Right? Yes.
But not like you're immortal.
You will eventually, we see her getting old at the end. You will eventually die.
Age very slowly.
Beyond, curing illnesses, we have like identified a way to combat the gene that causes the degradation of aging, you know, and to slow it down.
And everything works out.
Crawl. Well, I mean,
so the movie is very sketchy about a lot of details. And again, in a way that I didn't entirely hate. One of the things that is kind of left to our imagination, unless I miss something, is that she is doing this mission to find us a new home because our current home, presumably Earth, is no longer habitable. But what is left vague is, did that just happen naturally?
No. I got the impression it was because people stopped dying and that created overpopulation issue.
And that created like havoc.
Yeah. I mean,
yes. But they don't really get into it.
But she says like we decided that people should not actually stop aging. Like when she's talking to the kids about it. It's definitely the most interesting scene in the movie.
I think everything about that scene, first of all, I think McKinnon's good in this movie.
She is.
She's up to the assignment.
There were moments with her when I was moved by, like, the first moment in the movie after it was kind of going by very glacially, and I was like, oh boy. The first moment where I like locked in a little bit is when she has to turn off the AI, her AI friend, and she's like turns it off, and then she's like, you were my only friend, and then is like sad about it. And I don't know, just because she played it so well, I was like, oh, okay.
But
I'm feeling something there.
I agree. This is my biggest take with the film, and I understand, this whole movie generates from thinking about the Big Bang and the ripple of time and these story circles and, all of that. I'm like, the whole movie should have been McKinnon. I'm like, this is the interesting story, and actually the reveals that are interesting within her story are deflated somewhat by the other two narratives.
That's it. You're right. Because the other two narratives just are pretty juiceless.
They are.
They just are.
They really are. And they're little moments, they're little flourishes and touches. But when you actually step away from the movie, and especially when it doesn't really connect all of its threads until the end and go like, this is what's fucking been going on the whole time.
That fucking nut. Get out
of
here.
The nut. The acorn.
That nut out of here.
Some shit.
I would possibly get the nut out of here.
Yes. But you're just sort of like, the whole interesting story is the Kate McKinnon thing. And actually, if you remove the other two narratives and you're slowly realizing what's going on with her, the same doling out of information gradually, but it not being supplanted by the other two, that's the movie that feels like it has a little more intrigue to it. I like this implication that it's basically like, we're watching sort of the turning point of humanity, the sort of notion of the two species and one outlived the other. And this was the merging of them. And this is sort of the missing link sort of moment. And then Rashida Jones is she has discovered the remnants of this missing link. What's the character's name? It's not Thork or Thog.
It's Thorn and Hera.
Yes. If you look on IMDb, it's something I really like is Thorn is played by someone who is primarily like a stunt performer and a physical performer.
Jorge Vargas.
His photo on IMDb is just him as a Power Ranger.
Nice.
His face is not even visible. It's fucking awesome. And Tanaya Beatty, who's now...
Oh my God.
It's an awesome picture.
He's like...
It's just a full body Power Ranger.
Mid-Power Ranging.
Yes. Tanaya Beatty is an actor I really like. Yes. Who plays his wife. You're seeing this sort of like, this is where humanity kind of starts, right? Then Rashida Jones has recovered the remnants of this guy and believes like this missing link might help us understand where we came from, understand our own DNA more in a way that could lead to the breakthroughs of curing diseases, this and that. While this is happening, her mother is dying rapidly from a very aggressive form of a terminal cancer. She is starting this sort of relationship with Daveed Diggs, who clearly is all in on her, and she's kind of keeping him at arm's length, A, because she's so focused on her work, and B, because she's got the burden of caring for her mother. And she's sort of like, I don't know if I can take this on. And you're watching this developing relationship where she's keeping him at a distance. Then she drops out of school to go be with her mother. So the relationship is mostly happening over Zoom. She's in isolation there, and he's committed to her. And eventually, he moves in with her, they get married, they have kids, and you realize that their son, who they homeschool and they raise in the grand tradition of science, is able to build on his parents' work and what she studied to actually crack the code. To cure death. To
so
stop
the whole
aging.
time of their story,
yes,
a part of you is wondering like, what the hell is this? Because like nothing is happening.
Well, like her introduction.
You finally get to, when you get to the end, you're like, okay, the overarching idea here is like, is that she especially, and Daveed are like, they were just another little step,
the link in the chain,
along the chain.
And she has the moment, can you believe we made him?
Yes.
The guy who cures death.
There is something as their relationship, the Rashida and Daveed thing, like as I gradually settled into, I was like, okay, this is just what this is going to be. The whole movie, this like very quiet,
he's the most patient, understanding, gentle.
Mostly over video calls, which is kind of a crazy choice for a movie. But as I settled into it, I was like, okay, there are some nice moments. There's a very lovely moment where they're just standing together on the phone silently while she's sitting by her mom in bed, and it's a wordless scene. And like there are little moments like that where you're like, okay, that was good.
He is a very good visual storyteller, and even in a movie like this that can't quite find itself, there will be moments like that where something kind of interesting and specific is conveyed,
right? And where you feel a sense of what they're going for with their dynamic of like, they're so in love, and like despite all of these problems they have in the fights she has, and like at one point she tries to break up with him, it just kind of like doesn't come to anything because he's just like, no, like, you love me, I love you, like, we're going to be together forever.
I think that's kind of fun, where she's really trying to break up with him because she's just like, this isn't fair to you. It doesn't matter that I'm in love with you. And then he starts laughing and he's like, I got you to admit that you're in love with me.
It speaks to the weird writing style of the movie that in that particular scene is kind of charming, where it's like, you think this is about to be a dramatic moment, and then it's not. Because he's just like, no, enough of that.
The key thing here is kinda.
Now, let's say...
I just want to say something right now. Jorge Vargas played Blake Bradley, a.k.a. the Navy Thunder Ranger in Power Rangers Ninja Storm.
I'm glad you've been doing a deep dive on this while Joey and I talk about the movie.
Who is the Blue Ranger. But it's just funny how, like, at the start, they were like, yeah, we got a Blue Ranger, we got a Green Ranger. And now they're like, he's the Navy Thunder Ranger. Like, so we had to have like kind of Land's End style colors descriptions.
Yes.
But he's in 36 episodes. Hey. Like, and it's him.
Yes.
Like, his human face is seen too. That's all. I don't have any more. Do you want me to get more news for you on Ninja Storm Rangers?
No, what I was going to say is...
Maybe I will anyway, though.
If you remove the other two plot lines and just sort of unpack, like, this is what happens in the Kate McKinnon plot line, right? She is a woman who is on a spaceship by herself. Her only connection seems to be this AI robot, and she's like holding on to hundreds, thousands of embryos.
Yes, in bags.
Right.
You grow them in bags.
That she is trying to protect while also having a sort of Sunshine-esque green room to be able to provide oxygen for the ship. There is a fungus breakout. There is not going to be enough oxygen for her to get to the planet that's being terraformed. There's sort of the mystery of like, why is this one woman in isolation carrying so many embryos to repopulate humanity by herself? And, you have this sort of, I don't know, a bit of a trolley car problem, but not really, of there's not enough oxygen to get her there. She's like, I should kill myself. You're AI, you can handle the mission on your own. All that's important is that the embryos get to this planet and you can sort of activate everything. And the AI sacrifices itself to be like, you need a human being with like reasoning and feelings and the X factor of human experience. It shouldn't be done by a machine. And so the AI basically convinces Kate McKinnon to deactivate it so that they can use the extra room to plant more, to create a second supply of oxygen.
Right. Because they have to isolate.
To avoid the plague.
Have a separate room with the plant life isolated so that it doesn't also get disease.
All of this is kind of like a runaround where I was sort of like, the fuck, where are we going with this? Until the moment, as you said, where I think McKinnon plays really well, the loss of like, oh, this was the only connection she had to something that even felt like humanity, was speaking to this computer. And now she's got to do the rest of this mission alone. And she activates the one child that she can like raise and have a relationship with. And she starts talking to her. And then you realize like, this is the last human being alive. We like killed ourselves with overpopulation. She is functionally, if not literally immortal, close to it. And as she's raising this child, she explains this thing, what I think is the best scene in the movie, that both in terms of being well performed and well written, but also the ideas of it being so interesting, of we solved the thing that felt like the great tragedy of humanity, our own mortality. And in fact, we realized this is not good. It's not good. Not only did it just like fuck us up infrastructurally as a species, but also like people shouldn't live this long. It actually sucks. It's a curse and it's a burden. And we're restarting humanity. You will age normally. We're going to go to a new planet. We're going to try to get it right. And I'm the last freak alive trying to like reset everything.
It is important, though, that the company that did this to us is also the company that is now in charge of the ship.
Right. This is where the movie trips up and also is very like not built for this moment, is that it lands in this very optimistic place. You could argue about whether it's optimistic because, of course, the the happy ending that we see is preceded by like the collapse of civilization.
Well, you're watching the son's breakthrough as he gives the press conference to reveal that he's cured death at the same time as Kate McKinnon is basically explaining this was a mistake. It fucked everything up. And now we're trying to reset everything back to how it was. You will age normally. And so you have like Daveed Diggs and Rashida Jones being like, can you believe it? Our son changed the world. And Kate McKinnon being like, the world's a nightmare. And now I have to try to do a hard reboot.
Right. But then they're trying to the mood of the thing. This is what you're saying is that is all at a disconnect from the mood. The mood of the thing is very much like, but we figure it out. You know, like we realize we made a mistake and now we're pulling back and, you know, we figured out a new way. And that's what you're seeing with this Kate McKinnon storyline. And then alongside that, also she has this lovely AI friend who is like really nice and like helps her with everything, and who the AI gives voice to, like, no, humanity is the most important thing. And like having your X factor of being a human, that is the most important thing, more important than me. And not to like place other things that are like going on in the world right now onto the, but you can't avoid it. And I'm watching that scene and I'm like, well, that's a little bullshit. Like reflective of, that is not what we're learning and seeing about how these technologies operate. That's just you fantasizing about like, maybe one day it will be like that.
We have the opposite issue, which is like AI convincing people to kill themselves, not AI being like, I should deactivate so humanity can persist.
Right. So I was just like,
it also, I mean, it's the whole like,
and Stanton was asked, I read an interview with him where they were asked about this and they were like, it takes a very like optimistic view. And his answer was just like, well, what else can you do? But just have hope and have optimism. And I was like, well, that's a lame answer.
I find his worldview really interesting in general because it feels like he is a guy, and I relate to this really hard, where he is like, there is a constant fight between like an overriding cynicism and like an attempt at optimism, that he like doesn't want to drown in the cynicism, even though it's its innate state. And there is a sort of like sappy emotionality to him that he's a little bit embarrassed by, right? And I think that's a lot of like the Toy Story magic comes from that sensibility. It feels like this movie puts the thumb down too hard on the optimism, even when it's doing something that is a little bit ominous, and it's trying to like create the friction between like, well, here's this amazing accomplishment in human existence that we have this breakthrough, but also we're watching the business end of what was a mistake by it. But then the optimism is, but they're gonna fix it eventually. And
you're
like,
so, but that's why the end of the movie is really odd. Where they're like, "Wow, I can't believe we made him," and I'm like, "History's greatest villain." Like, it seems like he maybe was.
This was a mistake, and this was a curse. And I'm like, I sort of don't need to know about that guy. It's more interesting to just spend time with Kate McKinnon, the one person who's the representative of why this was a mistake. You know, and especially her doing that in isolation,
but it's also like fixing it.
Interesting to me. I also think, I think like there was a review I read at Sundance that was critiquing her casting and saying like her sort of what they described as her finger guns comic energy is an ill match for this movie. And then I was like, oh, is she going to be doing like Ghostbusters?
No, not at all.
In this film? No, I think she's giving like a good dramatic performance, but I think her being
just a little sedate, like, and it's like
comedian,
she has high energy,
gives her more energy than any of the other performers in the movie, even though she's playing it straight. She has a little bit of that off-wire energy, which I think helps. I think it could have helped to have more of the casting be on those lines.
I think if you're going to have a character in the future, make him talk weird. She loves shit like that, too.
You mean like do a Cloud Atlas thing? Like the true?
Yeah, come on.
She's kind of doing her like cowboy kind of, you know, Kate McKinnon sort of thing.
Here's what I can tell you.
Yeah.
Ninja Storm was the 10th
this is
Power Rangers series.
Uh-huh.
Now, the one before was Wild Force, which I guess they turned into like animals like lions and eagles and stuff. And the one after, one we all know well, is Dino Thunder, where they were just like, fuck it, they're dinosaurs again, I guess. I don't know. Because the originals are kind of dinosaurs.
I just
Ninja Storm, though, they were ninjas. I tell you. There's a Red Wind
ninja
Ranger.
Dinosaurs?
No, just regular old ninjas.
That's kind of interesting.
There's a more interesting...
And I was like, do they have Zordon? And it's like, no, they have a sensei who gets turned into a guinea pig.
So it's going into G-Force territory, sort of.
Sounds possible.
I think there is a more interesting version of like Passengers in this, with her activating the one embryo so as not to be alone and go crazy. And
I don't think I even really clocked, if your reading is right, that was a thing where she like was going against the mission or anything. I thought that was just part of the mission.
That's the other part of it is like now she needs help because she doesn't have the AI.
I think that was part of the plan.
Yes. But then it's like she's forming this emotional relationship that wasn't part of the plan because she needs that. And in raising a child now and actually like kind of being a mother in a way she wasn't supposed to be. And this movie ends with a scene I think Kate McKinnon also performs well of like her holding the funeral for this child on the reborn Earth. And she has barely aged. You know, she looks like 5 years older. And it's like
crinkles in the ears.
She succeeded in the mission, but like her curse is that she also now has to like
just to watch her kids die.
Right. And she's like,
they lived a long life.
She wasn't really my child. You know, I'm not technically her mother more so than any of you, but she's the one I felt the most connected to.
These are interesting, heady ideas. Yeah. I feel like the movie shies away from ever getting too emotional, getting too kind of like worked up about any of it. And so at the end, I was kind of like, yeah, okay.
It's just the one idea I like is, if we could live forever, it would suck.
Sure.
It would cause 1,000 problems. That.
My favorite show, New Amsterdam, when Nikolai Coster-Waldau, remember?
Yeah, of course.
He was old.
Yes.
But young.
Wasn't there also a different Johan Gruffed one where he was...
That one was where every time he dies, he wakes up in the East River or something. And he's still... And it was called like Eternal or Forever or...
Right.
Uh-oh.
Right.
It was called Uh-oh.
It was that he would like Groundhog Day, but the next day.
It was called Forever. It was called Forever.
Right.
I can tell you.
The day wouldn't reset. He would just be reborn. It would just like,
he's in the East River again.
So I guess it's a little being John Malkovich where they would just spit him out.
What I liked about New Amsterdam was like in the pilot, he like meets with like an old man who's his son. And the old man's like, wow, you really don't fucking age, do you? And he's like, yeah, it's my thing. I'll have to solve a mystery. Because that's the best thing about all network shows. They're like, he's immortal, fascinating. And he solves mysteries every week. They're like, don't worry. He solves mysteries. Don't worry about it. There's an engine.
Yes.
The ideas are interesting. I also find the design a little bland of the spaceship and all that. Like where I'm just like, it's just got this kind of vague Apple-y, sort of look to it that is not very distinctive.
Her clothes, it's just like boring.
It was another thing I caught watching
that movie Spaceman, which Colby Day wrote.
Yes, has a very different look.
Has a look like I found that movie also a little sleepy, but like that movie at least was very heady. Looking. Yeah.
I like that movie a lot. I think rewatching WALL-E for the first time in a while, it was interesting because that did feel new. The whole visual design language of WALL-E, both the sort of busted, rusted, old, by and large stuff, and then when you get to the Axiom and making everything that Apple influenced, you know? It's a year before Star Trek, which does the similar redesign of like the Enterprise is now kind of Apple Store coded and all of that. Now this has just sort of become the default language for what spaceships look like. And it's not interesting to do. And it feels like someone needs to like shake up the formula
everything
again.
About the visuals of the movie. Nothing is bad. The movie looks fine, but it's all just very like default and all very, that is all kind of summed up by the fact that for a score, they were like, I know Stanton has worked with him before.
It's his number
but they
one
were
guy.
like, call up Thomas Newman and have him deliver the same
have him do the thing
that you've heard a million times.
I've never seen Quest for Fire or Clan of the Cave Bear.
I recently watched Clan of the Cave Bear.
Tell me about it.
Because I'm trying to watch, it's not very good.
Okay.
I'm trying to watch every 1986 film for the Big Picture 1986
Our
draft.
Inevitable,
I got to this point where I was sort of like, at this point, I'd probably seen most of the major films of 1986. But then I was like, all right, well, what was nominated for an Oscar?
Oh, sure.
That I haven't seen yet. The answer was, one was Clan of the Cape Bear, which got a makeup nomination. It was a gigantic bomb, that film. A huge, huge bomb. It's Daryl Hannah plays a cave woman.
Yes.
It's great stuff.
But coming off of Quest for Fire being a surprise hit.
Right, exactly. They were like, we'll keep it with the caveman. I also watched Franco Zeffirelli's adaptation of the opera Otello, which features Placido Domingo in makeup. I was playing that one at work on my iPad, and I was like, I might have to turn this one off. And I also watched Crimes of the Heart, which got 3 Oscar nominations. Bruce Beresford film. Fucking sucks. Yeah. What were they doing in the 80s?
Bruce was, it's a weird career.
These based on a play.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How is any of what we're talking about right now? How did we transition into?
I was talking about caveman movies.
Cave Bear. Right.
This movie has a bit of a Clan of a Cave Bear vibe.
The weird
anyway, Crimes of the Heart is just 80s, a lot of Southern belles going like, "Oh, my mama never loved me."
I lost the.
There was an 80s micro trend of we're going to try to make cavemen movie that are ostensibly a little more quote unquote accurate, and no one's going to talk, and it's sort of like a dramatized nature documentary sort of vibe. I mean, sometimes this movie, in a negative way, feels like a 30-minute film you would watch at a planetarium or something.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Well, it's very, very hard to do any version of that caveman thing that isn't that, especially if you're going to decide to be accurate about it. Like,
it's hard. It's hard to see them discover a whistle.
Yeah, and be like,
whoa, yeah, that bone whistle.
I don't care. They should do a caveman movie that's like Chris Nolan doing The Odyssey, where they're just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Homer." Like, like, "Daddy."
Sorry, one more tangent. I just watched the movie Whistle. It's a horror movie. It came out in February.
You blew the whistle.
That's what don't blow it. Great tagline. That was the tagline.
That's actually really
and it's just one of those, just
good.
like, we're in a high school. I'm Daphne Keane from Logan. I'm a little, got some drama. I'm bisexual, maybe. Blah, blah, blah. What's this Aztec death whistle? I'm like, don't blow the fucking whistle. They're like, what if I blew it? No, don't do it. I just love any movie where it's like, there's a scary whistle. And I'm like, don't tell me someone blows it. And they're like, oh, no, they blow it. All right.
Yeah, there is. It was
not very good.
Quest for Fire then leads to Conquest, Iron Master, Iceman, and Clan of the Cave Bear. There were like 5 of them.
Iceman wasn't about Bobby Drake?
Not yet. We were too afraid. That's a Timothy Hutton, Fred Skepsey movie.
Of course, the big 2.
Yes. But that's more of an unfrozen.
Has anyone figured out that I have a nervous tick where if anyone says 2 names on this podcast or 3 names, I just say the big 2 immediately because I think it's always funny.
It's always funny.
Yeah.
That was he's Timothy Hutton following up the Oscar win is the caveman who discovers fire. And then he is frozen, and then he is revived. It's like serious Encino Man.
God.
But this was like a big trend for the era, and these movies were popular. Quest for Fire certainly was like very well regarded.
Clan of the Cave Bear was such a huge bomb and probably ended the whole
thing.
Trend. I would say
no one has really dared to touch this in 30 years.
It's a good point. So this has caveman stuff.
Yeah.
Have there been any other recent caveman dramas?
I'm looking on Wikipedia. The 2 recent ones they've mentioned are there's a French movie called A.O. the Last Hunter, literally A.O. : the Last Hunter. And then there was the, I forget which Hughes brother directed it, Albert Hughes, Alpha, which was the Cody McPhee and a wolf.
Right.
For the listeners at home, Joey and I just shared a look, a knowing look, as you were
don't forget the Croods.
This tangent.
We did meet the Croods.
And then they had a new awakening. What was the Crude sequel subtitle?
The January 6th. The Croods stormed the Capitol. No, I don't know.
Croods was one of those movies where it like
a new age.
It came out on drive-ins only in like
2020.
August 2020.
They were like, there's a Croods movie, and Cuomo was like, theater staying closed.
It's secretly,
I ain't opening for that.
The Croods, A New Age, might have come close to Titanic's number of consecutive weeks at the top of the box office because it had like 4 months where nothing else was coming out.
And like Florida's open.
Right, and you'd be like, the Croods racked up another robust $5,000 to be number 1 at the box office this weekend.
Yeah, look, in the blink of an eye, I found the caveman stuff like unsuccessful.
I found it's
flatly unsuccessful.
That was the least successful.
As with a lot of the other elements, as with the other 3 elements of the movie, it gets to a thing right at the end.
Yeah,
where there's a baby that's been born.
Right, it's like,
and then
it's
the guy,
about this.
The dad is like, he's like has this happy moment and then he dies. And again, it's hitting at that same idea of like he was just a link on the chain, and it's like, okay, all right, I get it.
And that's sort of like the first man being born, the first modern
Right. But I'm like, but that it was all for that. I mean, again, I admire in a way the smallness of it. I'm like, this is not the type of screenplay that exists anymore in that smallness. But
our buddy Bilga had a good review of this movie, and he was sort of calling out like how much he admires the ambition of it. But when you make a film like this, you're like drawing those comparisons directly to 2001, which is a challenge,
like
right?
I said.
And he said like the other one this movie like really draws a line to is The Tree of Life, in this sort of like, the small interpersonal drama of today is linked to our origins as a species and whatever. And there is something a little mathematical in the structure of this screenplay, even down to just what I'm saying of like, maybe this movie should just be all Kate McKinnon, of like, the need to have the prehistoric section be an equal third of the story. It feels like a mistake to me, where I'm like, this could be 3 scenes and it's an interesting addition to the movie. It doesn't need to have 30 minutes of screen time divided across the film, because what's interesting about it can be conveyed very quickly. And it's the same way that like Tree of Life is like, you get one dinosaur scene, and it kind of shakes your system where you're like, whoa, there's a dinosaur scene in a Terrence Malick movie? But he's not like, well, the dinosaur is an equal lead with Brad Pitt and Sean Penn. Yeah, these are the 3 narrative strains of this movie.
More dino, less bad.
There was actually even a moment early in the movie where our main, I think he was our main guy from the Paleo Times or whatever.
The Navy Ranger.
The Navy, fucking Navy Thunder Ranger.
Navy Thunder. He falls as he's climbing.
Yeah.
And he like lands on a rock, and it's like dunk, and then it cuts away from him. And I was like, did he just die? Like, was that the end? Well, because I thought for a second, I was like, was that like the point of that being in this movie was just like, sometimes it's just like that. You're a guy.
Blink of an eye.
Living in
Blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye, bitch.
You live in a
Blink of an
piece of
eye,
seat, you fall, you dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But no, then he gets up again.
Right. He actually gets hit by a bus later in the script, but they cut that.
I have to go to therapy. We should play the box office game.
Great.
And Lord knows I need
You
it.
do?
Yeah.
Tuesday therapy.
Things have been changing.
This is crazy, Griffin.
Changes.
You got to keep it on Thursday.
It's a one-off thing.
Oh,
no,
okay,
it's usually Thursday.
Okay,
it's not like I'm playing fast and loose. Yeah.
Well, the box office game, of course, this film did not actually premiere in theaters, but we can still cover the box office of February 27th, 2026.
A bad weekend, a lot of theater closures because of the snowstorm, I imagine, or was this the week after that?
This might be the week after that.
Okay.
I can't remember. Who knows?
Yeah.
What's important is that number 1 at the box office is a giant hit.
It is Wuthering Heights?
No.
Oh, fuck.
That came out
Valentine's Day. Of course it did.
It stars your friend and mine, Timothy Hitmaker Simons. I think he's the lead role. I haven't seen it yet. It's a sequel
Scream
horror
7.
film. It's Scream 7.
Surprised you didn't see Scream 7.
I didn't make the screening for reasons I can't remember, but probably my boss was like, you're not reviewing it. So I was kind of like not that motivated. And then the reviews were really bad. And I just was kind of like, I think I might be waiting for Paramount Plus on this one. Like, because like I quite enjoy 5 and 6. I like the Scream franchise. But because this is actively rejecting 5 and 6,
sure,
I wasn't too pulled in by like, we've got Neve Campbell. I'm like, yeah, I've seen her in a Scream movie before. Like, this isn't like, oh, she's been missing. She wasn't in one of them.
Well, congrats on not being a scab.
Yeah, sure. Also, fuck Timothy Simons. No, I'm kidding. I assume, isn't he like a professor and they throw him out a window or something? I haven't seen it yet.
Sounds good.
That sounds fun. Big hit. Did you see it, Joey Sims?
No, I felt the same as you, and I was also like, yeah, fuck them.
Who directed that? Oh, Williamson directed.
Yeah.
Also not an incredible size.
No. Number 2 at the box office.
Number 2 at the box office is my daughter's favorite film of 2026.
Roar.
No.
Or Goat.
They played
Roar Ball. I was thinking about the ball. Roar Ball.
Roar, isn't that the name of the
movie?
The Tatum O'Neal movie where they live with Tiger?
Melanie Griffith.
Where they were like, there were 10 to 12 lion maulings.
Yeah.
Barely, most movies have a
Jan
couple.
DeBont had like half his scalp ripped off.
Production was a wild success. It only took 5 years and a minimum of 3 scalpings. It's the most insane film ever made. No, I was thinking so much about Roar Ball.
Production ever made. Like, is the movie's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
No, the film is Goat.
Yeah.
Joey, you didn't see?
Goat, no.
Made $103 million domestic.
was a big hit.
Very solid hit for Sony.
Mm-hmm.
A movie I really enjoyed. I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, I liked it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well,
He plays basketball?
He plays roarball, Joey. It's very different. It means that sometimes
roarball.
the court is ice and sometimes it's lava.
That is true. Number 3 at the box office, a romantic drama adaptation of a novel.
Is it the Colleen Hoover? It's
no, come on. You just brought it. You said it was number 1.
It's called Reminders of You?
No, come on. You said it was
Wuthering Heights. Sorry.
A film that I quite like.
I do too. And our buddy Allison Wilmore
yelled at
has the exact take I have on the movie, which is it's an adaptation of a 15-year-old reading the book in high school.
I agree.
Yeah, I
agree. Did you see?
I quite liked it.
Yeah, I dug
Wuthering Heights.
I
I have not stopped thinking about the shot where she goes back after her awful dad dies.
Mm-hmm.
And it cuts to his Martin Clunes, cuts to his dead body in the chair, and there's just an insanely high pile of bottles of empty alcohol.
I wonder what did him in.
It's hard to tell what the movie is saying there. No, I was just the excess of it. I was just hell yeah.
It's
just funny to me when people are like, this movie's over the top. I'm like, yeah, it's going for that.
Yep.
That's sort of the idea.
No, you're in high school and you read a great book. One of the most important works of literature, and it says she walks in to find her father surrounded by bottles, and you're if you're 15, you imagine, it's 8,000 bottles.
So
there's a wall, there's a bone temple. So what if?
Number 4 at the box office, new this week, is a concert film centered around a band. I confess, I didn't know this existed.
Was this the BTS movie?
No.
You didn't know this existed. Is it a band I would know by name?
This is a real band.
A real band? Possibly. I think so. They're famous.
Is it a K-pop band?
No, they're a rock. I don't know. Are they rock? Yeah, alternative rock, electro pop.
It's not Imagine Dragons.
No, it's sort of like
Imagine
that.
Dragons.
I mean, imagine them.
I'm trying to just think what this is.
Oh, fuck. I wish I knew.
I don't think Imagine Dragons anyone said that.
Ben, what is this band? What is it? Tell me what they are. I know their name, but I don't actually know what the kind of music is.
Wait, I can't see.
Oh, for crying out loud. Come on, Ben.
Ben is going over and
what? I don't know what their actual deal is.
Oh, Jesus, I have no idea.
You just
I don't think I know. All right, so the band is 21 Pilots.
That's very close to Imagine Dragons.
I think it is. I agree with you. I just don't really. What is their vibe?
Ben laughed at me so much for saying Imagine Dragons. I was scared to guess 21 Pilots.
You should have guessed it.
They're a little bit more of a fun period. As far as I'm concerned.
The movie is called 21 Pilots More Than We Ever Imagined.
Okay.
It made $3.7 million in its opening weekend.
I would describe their vibe
put that in your pipe and
Imagine Dragons. I'd say they're very...
what's their song?
I don't know.
I just know that there's a band called 21 Pilots. That's where my knowledge ends.
Same.
And number 5 is another concert film, sort of. Not of a recent figure, but a deceased figure.
Is this epic?
Epic Elvis Presley in Concert.
An incredible title.
Which I did not get to see, but I was told was kind of rad.
Yeah, I've heard
we will cover on Patreon whenever we do Baz Luhrmann. You've also got number 6, a movie that I wanted to love and thought was okay. Crime 101.
Oh, sure. I need to watch that.
Fine 101.
Yeah.
That was your Letterboxd review.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Probably did numbers. Haven't checked yet.
Here's the twist. I'm going to let you finish the episode.
Okay, you know what? I'll see you later. Get out of here. Go away.
Well,
you gotta go.
I'll tell you the next. I can only imagine 2.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's based on a song the guy wrote about his dad not being nice. And this is the sequel where the song's a hit. And the dad's like, I still don't know if I want to be a nice guy.
Sounds pretty good. I'll check it out. Number 8 is Sam Raimi's Great Send Help, which you saw that. You saw that, right?
Of course. Good. Great movie.
Number 9, How to Make a Killing, the fairly bad A24 Glenn Powell remake of Kind Hearts and Cornets. Number 10, Zootopia 2, hanging out for its 4th month.
Highest grossing film of 2025.
Highest grossing film of 2025. You've also got Solo Mio there, number 12. That's the Kevin James Wants a Wife movie. Griff's going to therapy. He is going to therapy. He's out of here. Wow. Maybe Joey should take over. What should we do? A coup?
Sure. I mean,
has this
we
ever
could try
happened
it out.
before? I've done it before.
This has never happened before.
I have left because we went for 4 hours about fucking Cabbage Patch Kids or whatever.
Sure.
But I don't think Griffin's ever left before. There was the time he threw up.
Yes.
But he came back. Left, threw up, came back.
No, he's normally the one who
makes it too long.
Makes it too long, right. Shows up late.
Yes. You know what? Let's air some grievances.
Let's talk about
what else we got.
So this is kind of, a unique position. We've never been here before.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to see Mortal Kombat 2 in an hour.
I'm going later this evening, but I'm very excited.
Do you have work? Talking to my brother.
No, I have a few hours. I'm going to maybe try to hang out with Lane Montgomery.
Friend of the show, composer of the theme song and prior past future guest. Your former roommate.
My former roommate. We've been looking for a time to grab like a late lunch, so I'm going to see. But he may have been held up at work. It's unclear. So no, and then tonight I'm seeing Giant on Broadway. The play.
That's the Roald Dahl, not so nice movie.
Roald Dahl, anti-Semite, John Lithgow play.
You excited?
Getting that one in.
You sound excited.
Getting that one in.
Did he get the nom? It got Tony noms.
I'm excited to see him. We love to see John Lithgow take on a big mammoth role on Broadway. Who doesn't? The play, from what I've heard, is, I don't know. I'm not that excited by the.
Now, but Trumpty Dumpty. Is that what it's called?
So it is after the Giant concludes, then we all remain in the theater. The doors are locked, and John Lithgow reads the entirety of Trumpty Dumpty. Do you know about Trumpty Dumpty?
Are you aware that Don Lithgow wrote a New York Times bestseller called Dumpty, which was a series of comical nursery rhymes about Donald Trump. Then he wrote a sequel called Trumpty Dumpty Wanted a Crown. And my guess in that one, he turns around and he says, Trump not so bad. Wait, you're telling me he doubles down on how Trump is bad? And then would it shock you to learn that there's a third book called A Confederacy of Dumpties?
Who's that for?
What do you mean? Children. They love John Lithgow's hectoring poetry.
And I think he only needs to write one more, which hopefully he's working on in between shows, and then that's gonna do it.
Then Trump will be like, he got me. I'm out.
These rhymes.
I didn't think he'd do these rhymes. He's spitting hot fire. All right, Joey, just one more plug, of course, for your podcast.
Yeah, so my podcast, Thank You, Theater We Saw, which I don't know what episode will be on by the time this comes out. As I'm talking about it, it's very new. It releases bi-weekly. We talk about 2 shows each episode, 2 new shows, but maybe we'll do some fun episodes as I mentioned, such as about the pipe robbery at Perfect Crime. And
you have guests on occasionally.
We have cool guests on. We just had Grace Walker, who's a great theater TikToker, on. We're gonna have more cool people on, including non-theater people. A big hope of ours going forward is to start having some people who are not theater specific people, but comedians who are into theater, because many of them are, whether they proudly admit it or not. So we're hopeful to have lots of different types of guests on. And it's fun. Give it a listen.
There's a link in the episode description. And wait, this is also a first. You have to take us out.
Oh, okay. So in the blink of an eye, listen to Joey's podcast. Next week on the show is
Toy Story
5. Of course, which at this point has already come out because the Stanton series premiered a little later, but we have yet to see. But I'm told there's an iPad. So that's next week, and then we will be starting our series on some fuck called Martin Scorsese. So looking forward to that. And as always,
well, no, you got to rate, review, and subscribe.
Rate, review, and subscribe.
We have a Patreon.
Yeah, sure. We got okay. What's
Blank
on our
special
Patreon?
Features.
Blank Check special features. We got. We're starting our Resident Evil commentary series.
Fun.
We're gonna watch the Resident Evil movies. Paul W.S. Anderson, his universe of 6 movies, and then the risible Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. And then I guess we will touch on the Zach Cregger movie as well at some point. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
That's patreon.com/blank check. We also have a newsletter on Substack, Checkbook. It's a weekly behind the scenes look into the world of Blank Check. I think we've done all we need to do as far as housekeeping. So, and as always, David.
As always,
do something about the nut.
Yeah, there's an acorn.
Golden nut.
That the golden acorn
Keep an
comes
eye
for
out
us all.
for the acorn.
Blank Check with Griffin and David is hosted by Griffin Newman and David Sims. Our executive producer is me, Ben Hostley. Our creative producer is Marie Barty Salinas. And our associate producer is AJ McKeon. This show is mixed and edited by AJ McKeon and Alan Smithy. Research by JJ Birch. Our theme song is by Lane Montgomery and the Great American Novel, with additional music by Alex Mitchell. Artwork by Joe Bowen, Ollie Moss, and Pat Reynolds. Our production assistant is Minnick. Special thanks to David Cho, Jordan Fish, and Nate Patterson for their production help. Head over to blankcheckpod.com for links to all of the real nerdy shit. Join our Patreon, Blank Check Special Features, for exclusive franchise commentaries and bonus episodes. Follow us on social at Blank Check Pod. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, Checkbook, on Substack. This podcast is created and produced by Blank Check Productions.